Welcome to Experts on Expert. Monica,
Hi.
how you doing?
Wonderful.
You look fantastic.
Thank you. I'm wearing a skirt today.
Yep, it's a big day. There's a birthday party we're celebrating today, and Monica is dressed for the occasion. But that's not what we're here to tell you about. We're here to tell you about our guest, John Kim, who wrote a book entitled I Used to Be a Miserable Fuck, An Every Man's Guide to a Meaningful Life. John became divorced. Can you say became?
Sure, he became that.
He became divorced, and he is a licensed therapist, and he started a blog that got very popular called The Angry Therapist, and he kind of worked through his own issues out loud and worked his feelings out in public, and the result of which is his book. He's a very fun, likable, lovely person.
Very, very kind and nice.
Yeah.
And thoughtful.
And cute.
And cute.
Yeah. So please enjoy John Kim. We get support from Quince.
Have you been wearing the Quince linen shirts?
Yeah, I've been wearing them a suspicious amount. Yeah, European linen ones, they're $34, which is genuinely insane for how nice they are.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, here's the deal. They work directly with the factories, cut out all the middlemen, so you're paying for the actual quality and not some brand's marketing budget. Everything's 50 to 80% less than comparable stuff. I love it because it's all very classic and traditional, and I know I'm going to be able to keep it for a very long time, and the quality's off the charts.
That's true. The style is very consistent. Whatever you get there, you walk down the street, you're going to look good. They have these lightweight cotton sweaters, which I love for when it cools down at night. It's nice drape around your shoulders in the summer and then throw it on when it gets a little cool. And it's not just clothes. They do home stuff, ding, 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 travel stuff, everyday essentials. It's all the same model, quality without the markup.
Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/Dax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dax.
Confidence. It's listening to your gut. It's moving forward even when the path ahead is unclear. For nearly 160 years, Pacific Life has helped people keep their promises, building confidence for generations. Whether you're confident in your financial future or just beginning to envision it, we're here to help. Ask a financial professional how. Pacific Life, the power of a promise. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York, Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
He's an armchair expert.
John Kim, welcome to Armchair Expert.
Thank you for having me.
Now, before we even talk about important stuff, you've ridden a motorcycle here today. I noticed out front. It appears to be a Harley, and you're telling me it's called a road glide?
A road glide.
A road glide.
Yes. It's what we call a grandpa Harley, which I told myself I would never buy until I test drove one, and it just fucking made me feel invincible.
Right? 12 feet tall and bulletproof?
Yeah, and I'm only 5'8" with product in my hair. So.
And where are you from? Are you born in L.A.?
I was born in Korea, came here when I was 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did your parents make their way here?
So my parents came here with $500, 2 Korean kids. My dad was in the military. We're from South Korea. And we ended up in Georgia. This is the 70s, lots of racism.
Oh, sure. Well, Monica, your friend here on your left, is from Georgia.
Oh,
and as you can see, she is not the hegemonic white person.
I'm not. I suburbs of Atlanta, but my mom grew up in Savannah.
So we were in Columbus in the 70s, and I was only like 3, but I remember walking into a restaurant and feeling the race. I remember feeling unwanted.
You felt like the other?
Holy shit, yeah. All the racial slurs. And so my parents, we moved very fast from there into a VW Bug, and we drove to California. And I've been in LA my entire life. I'm 45 now.
Okay.
So
good. You're a little older than me. I always feel better when someone's older than me here.
2 years older.
You're that much closer to the end than I am.
Yes. Yeah.
So what age did you get to California? 4 or 5? Or still 3?
3 and a half.
They spent like a weekend in Georgia, and they were like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, my God. If I felt it and I don't remember my childhood, it must have been bad.
Yeah.
So I remember my mom worked at a Stop and Go, which is like a 7-Eleven in Georgia, the 17-hour days, and she would make Korean food. and they'd be like, "What the fuck? Get the fuck out of my," you know. So she would get a lot of criticism because she was eating
Kimchi?
kimchi, like that kind of shit. And I grew up embarrassed of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's like that shit's in Trader Joe's.
Yes, you guys were ahead of the curve.
Yes, and I remember here in LA when you go to K-Town Korean barbecues, it was all Korean. Now it's all white.
Yeah.
It's sprinkled with Korean people.
Yeah, I feel like the hipsters embraced it first, like
Yes.
let's go get Korean barbecue.
Yes.
And now it seems ubiquitous.
Yes, but I mean it's a good thing. I love it.
But now, so I like talking to Monica a lot about, because I think it is so hard to live in this country and look different than all the other white kids that are around you. And then there seems to be these things like indicators of your otherness that are triggering. So like kimchi,
Right.
your house maybe smelt like kimchi when
Oh,
you brought
yeah.
little kids
Yes.
home. Were you embarrassed by that
100%.
smell?
So I grew up in the 80s, dirt bikes, Bob Hanna, you know,
Oh,
that whole
sure.
era. In Rolling Heights, and Rolling Heights now is very Fast and Furious Asian, but before it was all white and Hispanic. We were the only Oriental family.
Sure. Back then you were Oriental.
Back then, yeah. I think Oriental is kind of pretty.
See,
you know?
Sounds nice.
I've been
I
making
like it. I've been trying to bring it back, and people aren't down.
I've been making that exact same argument to Monica. It's certainly not my position to say it, but there's some romantic notion about like the Oriental Express
Yes.
Railroad. There's
Yes.
like, I can imagine it being reclaimed by Asians the way the N-word was reclaimed by the black
If you
community.
say you're Asian, it's just very broad.
It's too broad,
It
in my
is.
opinion.
And you know, if you say you're Oriental, it makes me feel special a little bit.
To me, it takes my mind straight to China, as opposed to the subcontinent of India,
Sure.
which Asia includes. I mean, at least you're narrowing down a tiny bit towards where,
It makes me feel like you're handmade.
Like a doll.
like an Oriental rug.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Why?
Artisan.
Why did that become offensive?
I don't know.
Well, my understanding of it is that the Orient is a very specific region. Although
we looked it up.
yeah,
That's not true.
Yeah, I just got proven wrong about that. It really just means east. It's like
Yes.
It's actually
Occidental.
more general than Asia, or equal.
Although it is and it isn't, because I don't think. Do you think people in Europe think of India as the east?
No one thinks that, but I think the actual definition is
Just east.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or something.
So it would at least excluded, India, Afghanistan, Pakistan, all that stuff. It would have been a little more specific.
Well, Afghanistan and whatever you said is, I don't think Asia. That would be Middle East.
I think that's Eurasia.
Middle East. That's what now is the Middle East.
Yeah, it's just tricky because Afghanistan borders Pakistan, borders India. I don't know where we're drawing the line, but
Who knows?
regardless, though, I want to. Were you embarrassed of
Yes.
your parents?
Yes, I was embarrassed to be Korean. So I grew up in an all quote unquote Caucasian world, and being the only Orientals for blocks, I had to do something to fit in. And so I wasn't a smart person. I didn't, all the stereotypes didn't apply to me, like math. And so I got into breakdancing.
Oh, okay.
And so as a breakdancer, I feel like in the 80s, they would only let in one Asian person
Okay,
to be cool.
A token.
Right, a token,
Uh-huh.
right. And so I was very lucky, and I got in through some kind of ability. So it was
Okay.
breakdancing, and so I got to be in the crew. And once I was in the crew, then I was protected by the older Hispanic dudes and all that.
Right.
And then,
And so, can I just point out?
Yeah.
Because I want to include Monica, because I think you guys have such a
Common
It's
story.
were you a breakdancer?
no,
I
but
was.
basically, she became a cheerleader. Which what could be
Right.
more generically white
White.
girl
Yeah.
activity than like cheering?
Yeah.
It's deep.
If you're good
It's
at
deep.
something, they can't exclude you.
Well, because
you make
good at the
yourself
thing.
indispensable, right?
then it's not about your skin.
Yeah.
And then you bond over that thing, like we were just talking about motorcycles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you ride, then there's a bond there because you know what that person likes and how they
Yeah,
move,
yeah.
etc. So with breakdancing, suddenly they forgot that I was yellow,
Yes.
but look, he could spit on his head,
yeah.
you know.
Sure.
And so here's the good thing about dancing: women like it.
Oh, sure. Well, absolutely.
Yeah, and so
There's
when
a certain connotation that it's going to transfer between the sheets. Like
I think it
somehow
does.
you
I
think,
think it
oh, this
does.
person's like can move their body.
Yes.
They're in control of their body. They have rhythm.
I think it works in two ways. One, coordination,
Mm-hmm.
but also confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that shit ripples.
And you're observing someone perhaps doing something great and watching other men look at that and aspire to that. So there's an implied status element to it too.
Yes.
It's like, oh, if these guys
Yes.
think that guy's cool, then he must have some status.
What's the woman's version of? Because I think most women love a man who can dance.
Mm-hmm.
Especially actually, if,
I think most men love a woman who's alive and has a heartbeat
right,
and a willingness to
Right.
perhaps
right.
get
I
horizontal.
think that's
at
true.
some-
Absolutely.
Anatomy is intact.
Yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
way less discerning.
Yeah.
But tell me about your relationship with your parents.
Here's what's interesting about my parents. So they speak very little English. It's broken. What's funny is they've been here as long as I have,
Right.
but they just
Well, but you were little.
right, and also at school, and
You were trying to, it was life or death that you assimilated.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, or I would have gotten beaten up.
Yes.
They were safe behind counters and businesses and all that, so they didn't have to speak English.
Right.
So they speak very little English. I speak very little Korean. I can speak Korean, but only like 4th grade level.
Uh-huh.
And so when we talk, it's just very like, "Are you hungry?
Oh,
What did you do?" It's very basic.
yeah.
And I had this revelation lately because when I watch other people and their parents talk about deeper shit, I can't do that.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that's actually really sad.
And you've attributed it to the language barrier, but I do wonder if there's also a cultural
Oh,
barrier.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
I've, like, Monica will explain her relationship with her parents to me. And I'll say, no, they really do want you to say, I love you. Like they want to. They want you to say that. And so I was badgering her with it. That's what they really want.
Right.
And then we watched, there was an episode of
Master of None.
Master of None where the whole episode was about the fact that his Asian friend and him, their parents don't want that.
Yeah.
It's just culturally they don't want it. And I had to concede that I was dead wrong. So do you think part of it is that too?
Yes, yeah, 100%. My dad grew up making his own shoes. They grew up in war-stricken poverty, bathrooms outside.
Yeah.
My mom used to carry pails of water to her village.
Right.
So this idea of emotional intelligence,
Yeah,
self-awareness.
you had clothes and a skateboard. They
Yeah.
probably felt like you're good, man. We
Yeah.
don't also need to shower you and
Yeah, so
hourly affirmation.
their definition of love was we're just going to make you American.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wearing at 10, or 9 or 10, I was wearing a strawberry shortcake T-shirt because they didn't they didn't know that
Yeah.
that was for women,
Yeah.
girls, and so it was pretty sad. But breakdancing is where I had my edge.
Yeah.
You know, now fat laces, you know, the parachute pants, and then like the cool kids. And I remember that's when girls started liking me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was embarrassed to be Korean. So she would come over, smell the kimchi,
Sure.
and be like, holy shit, what's this? And leave the house.
Right.
Lots of shame and guilt.
Yes.
And so I had a poster growing up of Michael Jackson on my wall and Heather Thomas.
Absolutely.
The
The
Fall Guy.
whitest. Yeah. Yes. The lead of the Fall Guy.
Yes.
Or female lead of the Fall Guy.
And when you're staring at that, and she's like half naked, I shouldn't have been looking at that.
She was leaning on a wooden hot tub, as I recall. Was that
Yes,
the poster?
the
yeah,
pink
the barrel.
bikini.
Yep, and the barrel hot tubs.
That's the
behind her.
famous one.
That's right.
You could see everything.
Mm-hmm.
So for a 9, 10-year-old, when you're absorbing that and then you're looking at that every night,
Yes.
I ended up having sex with a plum.
A plum.
Plum because I was so curious.
Oh, you put your penis inside of
It's
a
a-
plum?
Well, I knew that even at that age,
By the way,
it doesn't
this,
feel like a pie.
this landed right where I hoped it would and
Yeah,
quick.
sure.
Okay, so you had an actual plum.
Okay, so at 9, I was surrounded by. My parents were never home because they're always working,
And did they?
working constantly.
And I'm going to stereotype you, but did they have a social network where they got a loan and started a business from
Yes.
family? Okay.
Yes. So
it's kind of the trajectory,
mom,
right?
stop and go 7-Eleven, 17-hour a week. Dad worked pulling phone cable, saved up money, bought a little hamburger shack the size of a photomat. And most people don't know what a photomat is, but
Right.
It's, right.
A toll booth, basically,
toll booth.
serving hamburgers.
So it was called AMO, and it was in Burbank, right next to the Burbank Studios.
Oh.
And it was called AMO because it's American, Mexican, Oriental food.
Oh.
And I was like, Mom, you can't fucking mix egg rolls with tacos. And what? She was ahead of her time, though, because that shit now it's called fusion.
Did anyone stop there for bullets? Because it also says ammo if you read it quickly.
Yeah.
Did anyone pull in for some like 30-06 rounds or anything?
No, this is the 80s. But it was busy because they could get egg rolls, tacos, and burgers.
Oh, they really did all three of those
And
things.
this little tiny photo. And my mom would.
And did you work there?
I went there all the time. I would bring my skateboard, and then I would go watch like Christian Hosoi.
Oh,
this is when
sure. He
skateboards
must
were
have
big.
been your hero.
Oh my God, that's who I wanted.
He was
to
an
be.
Asian god.
He was kind of. Is he half Asian?
I don't know.
he's
He
super
was
good-looking.
the big air champ of the day.
Yes,
he
but
could fly higher than anyone.
Yes, and that Christ Air thing.
Yeah.
But
I just got. I'm literally have goosebumps right now.
Oh,
all over my arms
because
and everything.
this is your generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Hosoi was fucking awesome.
So I met him once because right up the street was a place called Fast Lanes, a little skate shop. I would skate there, and they had this whole event. I met him. I had a broken hand from skating, and on my cast, he wrote "Go for broke."
Oh.
And I thought he couldn't speak English because I'd never heard that term before.
Uh-huh. Oh, he
So I
spoke
thought
the
he-
hell out of it.
But yeah,
even-
he was like that. I want to be that guy. But the plum.
The plum. Yes, thank you for getting us back on track.
My parents were always gone, so I was exposed to a lot of images really young.
Dirty magazines and stuff.
Do you remember On TV? Select
Oh,
TV?
yes. But you and I have the same life. I've brought up
Yes.
On TV on here a dozen times. No one knows what the hell it was.
Right.
On
no,
and
and the
It.
Playboy Channel and all that.
Yeah. So On, just to let people know, is first version of cable. It only
Yes.
came on at 8 p.m. and it came on what your Fox affiliate became. For us
Yes.
in Detroit, it was Channel 50. After 8, the image got scrambled. If
Yeah.
you got an on box, it unscrambled it.
So I'd sneak into my mom's room. They were never home, and watch images, scrambled or not. Very curious. And back in the day, you actually had to get pornography. You had to actually know someone older who had a connection to get a magazine somewhere.
Yeah.
Or a VHS tape.
We had to earn it.
Well, you had to earn it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Pay for it.
Yeah.
Get beat
Blood,
up for
sweat,
it.
and tears.
Right.
To
And
see.
then if it was an image, you would fold that shit up and carry it in your back pocket for like months,
Right.
and just stare at the same image,
Right.
until it was just disintegrated.
Yes, in fact, Monica just asked the other day if boys have favorite porno clips that they watch. And I
Yeah.
said, I think now there's just such an overabundance of image that there would be no reason to.
It's like watered down now.
But you had one dirty magazine when you were a kid in our era.
For 10 years.
Yeah, and you did have favorite spreads in there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you could even build up. You knew that big image was coming on like page 11. Oh,
The
my
one that
goodness.
pulls out.
Yeah.
So because of that, I was just very sexually curious and very highly sexually preoccupied. My dad is also an alcoholic.
Okay,
So
mine
I had-
too. Congratulations.
Oh, well, we have a lot in common. And
Yeah.
so I had the addictive gene, right?
Obsessive compulsive.
Obsessive, compulsive, all that stuff.
By the way, when you said you're into
Dopamine.
break dancing, I already know that. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's one of those things
Yeah.
where this thing, obsessive compulsiveness, addiction, it's a double-edged sword. So one of the things is you obsess over dancing. One needs to obsess over that to get good at it. Right?
I would hit flow states, lock myself in a room or on the driveway, and for hours. I would forget to eat. I mean, you just, which is kind of cool. You submerge yourself into the craft,
Yes.
and that's how you get good.
But again, because you have a fucked up brain.
Yeah, because
that
it's a fucked up brain.
Yeah.
But it got me
Yeah.
some
You
attention.
got to learn to kind of minimize the downside, maximize, right, the good
Yeah, I
sides
mean,
of it.
at that age, it's worth the fucked up brain because you get to be not bullied.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. So you're obsessively sexual.
it's like I need to know what sex feels like. And I knew it didn't feel like a pie.
Right.
Even
right.
at that age, I just knew it didn't feel like a pie.
Sure.
So I thought a plum.
Why not?
It has texture.
Right.
And at 9, I don't need anything bigger than a plum.
Right.
So I cut a hole into a plum,
Okay.
and
To me, this seems pretty early.
it's. I think it is early.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I think like for me, it was more like 12. Did you have any sexual
was-
trauma in your past?
I don't think so. I was left a few times at the neighbor's house or something because my parents worked so hard. And
Yeah.
they were always gone. And so I don't remember a lot of. I mean, I'm a therapist, so I should I talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I remember traumatic, but I also wouldn't be surprised if something did happen.
Yeah, it just seems. I guess when you're sexualized that young,
Yeah.
it's generally not a bad question to go like, "Huh, wonder why."
Yes.
But it could be this American ideal of this white woman on your
Oh, it's all that. It's the imprint.
wall and all of
The
these
movie
things.
where
Yeah,
the
and
guys you
It's
want to
very
be.
American.
It's very American. It's very American. And also, I was the youngest in the breakdancing crew. They were 16, 17.
Oh, they're talking about
They're already
getting
having
ass and
sex.
stuff. Yeah.
They're smoking out. They're doing things. And I
Uh-huh.
was just kind of like, the world was very big and I was very curious.
Yes, but you didn't go back to it. It didn't become habitual.
No, but it would be interesting to go back to it.
Yeah,
Like after
now
this.
it might
And
bring
to
back
see-
unlock your sexual trauma.
Yeah.
That's like that movie that what's the movie last year about the gay guys?
Oh, call me by my
Call
name.
Me by Your Name, where he has sex with a peach. It's
Oh,
a
Oh.
big deal.
So it's not just me. Other men have.
I feel like
this
it's
is good. I think they're just hiding.
who's
Well,
hiding?
obviously, because
Oh, the people who have done this.
yeah.
I'll bet you
this
other
must
men
be
listening to this will be like, "Oh yeah, plum,
Yeah,
peach,
yeah.
yeah,
whatever, mango,
apricot.
apricots."
I used to tell this in stand up. In fact, I started getting boners at like, I don't know, 10 or 11.
Yeah, me too.
And I would finish the toilet paper roll and I would see, oh, that's
Oh.
a roll.
That hurts.
Like that my penis would go in there. And I remember humping like a toilet paper roll and it was not pleasurable at all, but I just was intrinsically drawn to sticking it in that tube. Like no one was telling me
That
to do
sounds
that, but
painful.
it looked obvious. Yeah. And
I put it inside a vacuum once
okay, I've heard, yes.
because that's kind of like
A
the suck-
vacuum?
well,
the vacuum hose.
the suction of it
Oh.
with it on.
Right,
With
of course.
it on, this
Yeah.
is a thing.
Oh, it's very common.
It
yeah.
is?
Yes. Yep.
That sounds horrible.
But that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Those are my kind of trials and tribulations.
Well, and here's the thing. This is why, the sooner,
I
if
just
you're a
lost
dad, you
I just
can.
lost all my clients.
No, I think you probably gained a lot with your honesty. But I would point out is that if you're a dad, you can't get in there too soon to explain how all this works. Because if you're just a little person with
Yes.
very little understanding of the world, yet very strong carnal desires and urges to do things, you're just going to start trying things, which is.
And I want to italicize that and maybe get back to that because that was the birth of this book, that we live in a fatherless nation, which is what I'm on fire about.
That's what I related largely to when I started reading your book, is that fatherlessness. So,
Yeah.
so you did have a dad, but it sounds like between his work and
He wasn't
his
home.
drinking.
And he wasn't there for me. Not to say he's a bad person. He wasn't there for me emotionally. Didn't have any tools. Also physically, always working.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people I was raised by pop culture.
Yeah.
I wasn't raised by. There was no dad. There was no positive male role model in my life.
Now, how do you end up in college? You're saying you're an average student. It sounded like.
So I guess I should start by saying my SAT scores were so low. The vice principal called me down
Mm-hmm.
and asked me if everything was okay at home.
Oh, really?
And it was a little offensive because I was like, if I was an Asian,
Yeah, you would have blown right through.
yeah. I'm not an academic guy, and now at 45, I'm okay with it. But of course, back then there was a lot of shame and guilt. So I'm all right brain. So I was a kid in the classroom that would stare outside the entire time, playback movies, wonder if I could fly. All
Oh
that
my
shit.
God, Monica, playback
yeah, he
movies.
used to do that.
Yes.
She used to watch Good Will Hunting over and over again in her head all day
Yes.
long at school.
Yeah, so me, it was the 80s movies. It was Ferris Bueller's.
Weird Science, as we
Breakfast
talked about.
Club, one of my favorite
Did your
movies.
parents care that you weren't good at school?
They were kind to me, but they would always, typically the whole Asian study, we want you to be a doctor, lawyer, throw books at me. We didn't come to America for you to spit on your head.
Yeah.
A lot of yelling for that.
Yeah.
Then I got into skateboarding,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, "What? Like when are you going to grow up?"
Yeah.
My brother's the opposite. Did very well in school. He's very left brain.
Okay.
So
Older or younger?
older. He's 2 years older, and
And was he protective of you in school?
No,
or
he was embarrassed of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing, it causes, I think the most heartbreaking stuff when I hear your story, Monica's stories, a lot of other friends of mine's stories, is the saddest part of it all is it weirdly can make you turn on your own family because
Yeah.
they're just another reminder that you're different.
yes.
That to me breaks my heart.
And so I had to find my something because parents went around, brother was embarrassed of me. And when you're only 2 years apart at that age, your little brother is just like an idiot. You don't want to.
He's just annoying the
Yeah,
shit
yeah,
out of you, yeah.
exactly. I remember trying to follow him around on my bike, and he would just ditch me, and I would be fucking terrified.
Oh, you guys are both just fighting your own battle to be accepted.
Oh,
It's really, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Now, was there an age where all of a sudden in 10th grade, you've chosen a completely different route than he has. He's sounding more academic, and you're probably starting to reap the rewards
of creativity.
Getting girlfriends, maybe being cooler, more accepted. Did that ever occur to him? Like, oh shit,
that just started happening like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It took 40 years. You know, I got into skating, and of course, whatever I get into, I get into. I submerge myself. Got into skating, and then just never did anything that didn't move me. So I was in the 80s, models were big. Not models as in like women, but like building models.
Yes.
Hobbies.
Mattel models or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a great metaphor of kind of who I am. I got my dad bought me the Dukes of Hazzard car, which at that time was like the model.
The General Lee.
Yes.
Nice Confederate flag right on the roof to tell you where.
Exactly. And they had no idea. And so I remember like, this is the one I'm going to really do everything, the decals, like actually paint it and shit. And so I built the whole thing until the end when I couldn't figure out how to put the axle together. And so I took the wheels and just glued them to the wheel well.
Okay.
So now like it was on switches, you know?
Right, it was low rider.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like became the metaphor for, oh, that's John Kim. He's going to go 80%, or he could almost do something. And then it kind of gave me this false belief that I was the almost guy. And so the theme of my life has been like, oh,
Start
you're good
things
at
and
it.
not finish them.
Yes. Or you're a half-ass. But it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I realized it's actually a gift, not a curse.
How so?
Everything that I've done in my life, like for example, I started a life coaching company called the Catalyst Intensive, sold tickets to it before I had no idea what I was going to teach. But that passion came from going through the clinical system, which I think is broken, to be a therapist, and realizing that you enter the system on fire to help people. By the time you're done, you're like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore.
Well, there's a lot of burnout in that field, right? And
So much burnout,
fatigue, yeah.
underpaid.
Also just hard to join people in drama and misery all day long.
Yeah, but also alone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in private practice, you're sitting by yourself, being very neutral, not showing yourself. Like this is great because we show ourselves. There's a human exchange here.
Yes.
But if you're a therapist, you're doing that hour and out, you actually create your own prison.
So what school did you go to?
Went to high school in Glendale, and I just felt like I couldn't get into those schools, so I wanted to go somewhere. It was either a community college or a Cal State school. Got into Northridge. Was studying during the Northridge Quakes. Went there for film.
Okay.
Became a screenwriter.
Okay.
Had a restaurant bar club because by this time my parents have turned their little photo mat into saving up more money, and they actually bought a Pioneer Chicken.
Oh, okay.
That was the big deal for our family. And then that turned into a Popeyes. We sold that, and they kept saving and saving and saving. And then we had just enough money to actually buy like a little Italian restaurant called the Hollywood Canteen next to the studios. That it was started by Richard Branson as kind of a clubhouse for, I guess his, celebrity friends and stuff. And then like his chef bought it, and it kind of went down and down. And like this little Korean family bought it. And the lunches were great because of the studios, all post-production, but the evenings were dead.
Yeah.
And I was doing this thing. I had this project called Model in the Bottle, which is a whole different story. And I met this club promoter, and he saw it, and he was like, I could make this into something really cool. And my family's like, let's just try it. It was like a big deal. So I was like, all right, let's do it. I didn't know him at all. And in come the Shark Tanks and the white couches and crazy turning things upside down. My parents were terrified. I was like, you got to trust me, Mom. And this is, again, very John Kim, right? Just building the bus while he's driving it. And for about 6 months in 2001, it actually blew up. And it was like 400 people outside, all the celebrities and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But no one knew it was owned by this little Korean family. I had no idea what I was doing. So everyone was stealing from me. And
Yeah. How would you know?
I did. I was in my 20s. And HBO found out about it, and I was just writing screenplays and stuff. And they, when they found out it was owned by this little Korean family, they thought it was interesting. So then they got my life rights and turned it into a project. And then they hired me to write it. And then I thought this is going to be my big break.
For sure.
Of course, it never is. Justin Lin, who was doing Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah.
I think he wanted to do. I never met him, but what I heard was he wanted to do something. He was coming from commercial movies. He wanted to do something that's kind of meaningful, and he could relate to that story. But then he ended up pulling out, and so when that happened, and my marriage was falling apart, I was like, it's too feast or famine. I can't do this. It's not making me happy.
Yeah.
I would spend 15 hours a day, death of a salesman, punching keys at a Starbucks, trying to create, the act break and the dialogue. And it's hard, you know, and so that's when I became a therapist.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
So I was talking to my own therapist, and he's like, what do you want to do if you can't do that? And I said, if I can't move people by the masses and be creative, I want to do what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, well, do it. And I thought you needed a PhD.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not a school guy. It terrifies me. There's no way I could do it. He's like, you just need a master's.
Mm-hmm.
You already have your little Cal State Northridge thing degree.
You have your BA.
You have your BA with the spaghetti stains. And it's 2 years of school. And so next thing you know, I'm getting my master's, going through a divorce, and I didn't know about the 6.
What age did you get married?
29.
29.
Yeah. It lasted about 5 years.
5 years.
That was actually the most important and the greatest thing that's happened to me, because that's the great divide. That's when my life Etch-a-Sketch was shaken, and it forced me, because so I left with basically a pillow, a Tempur-Pedic pillow.
Okay.
So you got the bed, and just my SUV.
Uh-huh.
So I went on Craigslist and found a roommate and started all over at 35-ish.
And was it amicable, mutual, or
Yeah,
did she want to out?
Oh, it was more on her side.
Okay.
But it wasn't crazy. It was just calm and sad.
Right.
And on a spiritual level, it felt like this was meant to be. I had peace with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you rewind to my wedding day, and this might be a little too much information, I had this weird spiritual experience where the person that was marrying us, she didn't say it, but I saw it in her eyes, and she was known to predict the future. What are those?
Psychic?
Clairvoyant.
Clairvoyance. Yeah, she was known to be that in this small town. And she told me, she didn't say it in words, but basically told me your marriage isn't going to last, but you're going to go off to help a lot of people. And at that time, I was a screenwriter, so I thought, oh, maybe I'm going to be like this successful movie.
Can I ask, did this person that you married, without saying her name or his name, did they fulfill some kind of image you were trying to create for yourself? Do you think you were attracted to that person for all the right reasons, or
No.
do you think that she was helping you confirm a narrative you were trying to write about yourself?
I think in looking back, well, the marriage took a black light to my defects, holes, wounds, all of that. And even though we paint a fun picture of a 10-year-old breakdancing and fucking plums and looking at porn and all that, there's a lot of pain behind that.
Listen, I
There's a lot
don't
of serious shit behind that,
your experience or the experience of other people who are first generation from another country, where you obviously look like you're from another country, I don't think that experience is so dissimilar from being gay, from just knowing that you are not what the main group is. And I think there's so much pain and trauma that comes out of that. And I think there's so many desperate attempts to prove otherwise or to fit in. I think it's incredibly hard.
The themes are common. So isolation, wanting
Self-loathing,
self-loathing. Parents not saying "I love you." You're good as you are. You could go out and do good things, like that kind of stuff. Never got.
Yeah, you're also kind of inheriting someone else's game plan, which is, we're going to go through hell and high water to get to this country to give you
a lot of that,
this opportunity that we think you should exploit to its fullest.
Right.
So it's just very complicated.
So you also end up, and a lot of my clients struggle with this, you end up tracing a blueprint that's not yours.
For sure, right? Yeah.
And that disconnects with your purpose and who you are and where you're meant to go. So...
but in this marriage, did this woman represent to you, if I have this person, if this person commits themselves to me, I'll have proven couple of these fears of mine aren't true, or it'll heal those.
She was
she blonde and white?
She was my Heather Thomas on the wall.
Okay, right.
Stunning. I felt like I was known as her husband instead of John Kim. I didn't have a sense of identity.
Right.
Right. And so once that shattered, now I have no more.
Mooring.
Like my veneer shattered. Right.
Yeah.
And so now I have to show myself. And this was the birth of. So I always tell people that I cut myself in half. There's the old John Kim and the new, and this was the
saw.
The saw. This was the saw that chopped me in half. So becoming a therapist to get my hours, I worked a nonprofit.
Okay.
And I did not want to work in nonprofit. My dream was to have a private practice with the shiny balls and to have my coffee and show up in my little 3 Series BMW and then the
and counsel Tony Soprano.
Exactly right, right.
Yeah.
Like how the media portrays the therapist, right? Yeah. Now, to me, that would be a nightmare. But that was my dream. But the universe threw me into nonprofit. And in nonprofit, I started working with teenagers, which I did not want to work with. I wanted to work with adults. And I worked with hundreds and hundreds of addicted teenagers. And
where at? At a treatment center?
Yeah,
or
right down the street, nonprofit treatment center. It was called ADAP.
Okay.
And all low income, mostly Hispanic, Asian, people who couldn't afford treatment. And in doing so, I realized a single common thread between all the kids. No one had a dad. So if they had a dad, he wasn't emotionally available. If they, or he was feels physically gone. And so the family support groups, only moms would show up. And if there was a dad, he was either sleeping in the back or popping donuts and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is where the seed was planted because girls were standing too close and the boys either wanted to be me or fight me.
Right. And when you say the girls were standing too close, your assumption was that they didn't have a dad who taught them about boundaries.
And I represented the healthy older guy. So if they're used to the older guy with the Trans Am out, the college kid,
the lecherous guy.
Now they are for the first time in their lives, someone that can meet them where they are. They connected me to that level, but then I represented wellness or a dad or someone that was healthy.
Right. Yeah. A North Star.
Yeah.
And then the boys, conversely, right?
Yeah.
They would do what?
They would either want to fight me because now I'm a threat.
Yeah. Well, you're someone telling them what to do.
And I don't know how to fight at all.
Okay.
And
that's a brave admission.
I got to be honest real quick. I don't know. When I was like 9, I saw 2 men fighting and I was hiding behind bushes. And they were like in their 30s. They were like going at it, kicking each other.
A real fight.
Real fucking fight. First time I ever saw this in my life. And it was so traumatic that I was like, I can't. I'm not going to fight it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how I feel. I'd be like, let's talk about this.
Yeah, when you're that young and you see that, it looks life-threatening.
Right. Well, most kids, when they grow up, they are forced to fight because of they're just like, you're going to get your ass kicked. You have to. It's like fight or flight.
Yeah, or like a rite of passage, an initiation.
Yes. I slid through the side door, man.
That's great.
By dancing and skating and all that.
But these kids in treatment, how do you check yourself to make sure you're not actually projecting onto them your issue?
Yes. So looking inward.
Is that even possible?
I don't know. I see a therapist, and I'll be honest, not all the time, like as needed.
Right.
I think it's important that therapists also see therapists.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all people could benefit from checking in with somebody and being accountable to somebody.
Yes.
Whether that's through a group, through a church, for me, AA, or for you, a therapist. It's pretty good to be accountable in general.
Yeah, I don't know how people thrive without that.
Yeah.
Because we only see the world through our own eyes and through our own...
I do buy into this fantasy that some people just came out of the gates biochemically set up to feel great, and they maybe don't require that. That's certainly not my experience.
I don't know anyone with that.
Yeah. It feels pandemic. It feels like we all really struggle to keep ourselves right mentally and seemingly optimistic. Or
I think especially now, because it's become a bumper sticker and it's become commercialized wellness, which I think is a great thing. People the stigma with therapy is a lot less today.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Or people have coaches and AA and stuff. It's actually a conversation, which is good. Before it was very...
Well, look at the premise of Sopranos was that Tony was secretly seeing a therapist because if a mob boss was seeing a therapist, mentally he was weak.
Weak, right.
And there was no way he could lead the soldiers.
Which, goes back to this whole definitions of men. And I think right now it's the soil is the richest to start having conversations about what a man looks like. And it's not about me putting any of my definitions on a man. It's just about encouraging other men to look inward. That's it. And to come up with their own definitions.
Right. So your book that's coming out, or it's already come out?
It's out. By the time this comes out, it's out.
Okay. I used to be a miserable fuck and every man's guide to a meaningful life.
Can I just say I had a lot of resistance when they wanted to make that the title. And they said it's in the first paragraph of your book. Let's use this. And I said, no, I don't want to jump on the fuck train. It's like, I don't want to use the word fuck. And I know it's, And then I sat with it and I was like, why, like go deeper with it. Why do you not want, is it really because of the word fuck? And they were saying, but it's used in a different way. And I think it'll, and I was like, actually the truth is I don't want this to be the title of my book because I'm embarrassed to say that I was unhappy. Especially as a therapist, to say that I was miserable.
Sure.
And when I realized that that's what my truth was, then now I told myself it has to be the title because you have to be the first domino.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I think vulnerability begets vulnerability and admission of failings helps other people admit their own failures.
Right, and especially if you're kind of quote unquote the expert.
Yeah, so
saying that you were once miserable.
Yes, well, I have almost anyone that comes on here that has made a name for themselves through seemingly having some of the answers. Don't they run a huge risk of no longer being able to admit their own failings because they're supposed to be someone with the answers? Just what a dangerous, precarious position to be in as someone who's supposed to have the answers, I think.
So how the Angry Therapist all started was when I was going through my divorce. I had nothing. I didn't have any friends. I legitimately had nothing. I had no friends, no money.
And you're what, 30?
35.
Okay, 35.
35-ish.
Yeah.
And
you're supposed to have shit figured out at 35.
I had nothing figured out.
Right.
The tree was shaken.
Yes.
I fell out of that thing. And I was like, what am I going to do? I was depressed. I was like, what am I going to do with my time? So and Tumblr was kind of big at the time. And I said, I'm going to create a blog. And I'm going to call it, and I had no idea anyone would read it. So I said, I'm going to call it The Angry Therapist. And I thought it was kind of funny that a therapist is angry, but also I was very angry.
Yes.
Just being Korean and all this shit that's happened to me. I was just very angry and unhappy. And my very first post was called My Fucking Feelings. And it was like 4 sentences long. It was basically, I'm sad. And so what I did was, I didn't know at the time, I pulled the curtain back. And I said, I'm a therapist. I'm broken. I'm hurting. How can I help you? And I think that's what people thought was maybe interesting is this Korean guy with tattoos and got his first motorcycle, going through this rebirth, being vulnerable or transparent. If I had come at you instead of with you, and said, hey, listen, I'm the expert. Let me tell you how to live your life. Yeah. People would be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And so that would kind of become my whole thing is show yourself.
Yeah. So, okay. Now from the outside, knowing very little about you, when I imagine the full transformation of someone who probably wrestled with otherness and then is striving to shed themselves of that feeling, it appears from your choices that you went the other way, which is CrossFit, tattoos, motorcycles. To me, feels like it feels like breakdancing 2.0.
That's what it was. And I believe that self-betterment sometimes is about a reunion than anything else. I believe that as life happens, we take parts of ourselves and we smash them into a hope chest and lock them. So what CrossFit did when I found CrossFit was, it wasn't like I was all into like athlete fitness or wanted abs. The feeling I got from the butterfly pull-ups, the handstand push-ups, and the muscle-ups connected me to the 9-year-old doing windmills and head spins that I had to put away. The reason I bought a motorcycle wasn't to be cool. I had a Honda Spree
Oh, me too.
at age 10 or 11 because my parents wouldn't buy me a dirt bike. All the cool kids had dirt bikes.
Yes.
And my parents said, it's so funny because they're thinking, okay, with pads and a helmet on dirt, that's very dangerous.
Right.
But we're going to give you a 50cc
And let you
plastic, right?
drive in the city with the most traffic and
And at the 80s, there was no helmet laws. It was basically sandals. And I remember flying on that thing.
32
And
miles an hour.
I rode the shit out of that thing by myself for hours. And it was probably the most freedom I've ever felt.
Did you get an erection the first time you rode it? And that's a sincere question. Because I got a raging boner as I was telling Monica about it. The first time I rode my spree.
That's amazing. So with you, it seems like dopamine is connected to
My boner.
Your boner.
Maybe.
That's amazing. That's going to help you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, in general, if
So
I have
all
a
it takes
boner,
for you
I am
is
in a pretty
adventure.
good mood. I can't remember ever being in a terrible mood with a boner.
These days at 45s, I only get heart boners.
You only get heart boners
Yeah.
Where you love someone?
It
Is that what you
takes
mean?
a lot. It takes more than the wind to get it up for me these days.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
natural.
It's coming for you too.
Yeah. I'm
Maybe
sure
not.
it's
I
right
don't
on the
know.
corner.
Yeah.
You start this blog, and then you become known kind of as the angry therapist. And
The anti-therapist, the angry therapist, with you instead of at you.
now, as more and more people seem to enjoy what you're putting out into the world, and maybe they're asking you for advice, I guess.
Yes. So it started off as advice, and then this is when it changed everything. Someone gave me $20, and this is when like internet money was new. Like no one pays people online. I think it was PayPal first came out. Because I really took an email and I went 4 pages deep and answered. I really poured my heart into it. I had
Right.
I had nothing else, so I
Yeah.
just decided to give.
Uh-huh.
To give. Now today, looking back, there's so much empowerment in giving because it's no longer about you. And we could talk about the through me life and the to me life and the stages, but I got $20 and I remember crying. I swear to God, I remember getting the $20 and thinking, someone just paid me. It wasn't about $20. Someone paid me,
Someone valued
me
Yeah.
for my words.
Yeah, it could have been $1, it could have been $1,000.
It could have been right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other epiphany I had was, I can make money off this.
Mm-hmm. And you need to feed yourself. And
I need to feed
you're a
myself,
normal
student
human.
loans, like
Yeah.
all of that stuff. Nonprofit doesn't pay at all,
Right.
And so then the pilot light became a flame.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, okay, what's my message? Who do I want to help? How can I do it in a way where I'm not on a podium or a stage, but like, let's go do this together?
Well, and I'll just be very honest with you. I have a knee-jerk response to anything related to life coaching. To me,
get
it's
that 100%.
very, very dicey.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
triggered by it for
Yes.
whatever reason, because I don't like religion or I don't like hierarchies. I don't like, there's something about it. And I'm sure you could argue that I'm doing the same thing you're doing on here. I'm ultimately have a point of view I'm sharing with people. I guess the distinction I make is that I feel like I would never tell someone what to do
Yes.
as much as if I thought I had a similar story that I went through, I would just share with you what I went through and then what I did. And then if you think that's a good idea, then maybe you try that. I don't know.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and most people feel the same way. So
Well, by the way, it's double-sided. So I'm first suspicious of the person who would advise another person how to live their life.
Right.
And then I'm suspicious of the person that would seek that out, as opposed to what I would consider doing the boot camp version of self-help.
Right.
Like you feel so entitled that you should have one human being dedicated to your life as opposed to you joining another group where you
Yes.
could get that counsel. So it's double-sided and it's unfair on both
100%.
sides. So
I
tell me
get
why
it.
I'm wrong.
I mean, no, you're not wrong. That's truth. The reason why I started my own life coaching program is we don't encourage that. It's about asking questions, not about telling people how to live their lives because you don't know. I want to try to change the temperature. That's what excites me. So I can't surf because I'm afraid of the water. So I remember there's something called skimboarding.
Oh, uh-huh.
Remember where you throw the board on the sand? And if you're a surfer, that's a fucking joke.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Get out of my way. I'm going to beat you up.
Yeah.
And I think therapy is surfing and life coaching has become skimboarding. Like everyone's buying these things to go jump in the water, but they're just, and it's changing. And that's because with life coaching, there's no board. And so anyone can call themselves a life coach. You can say today, My name is Dax Shepard. I'm a life coach, right?
I'm Rob's life coach, self-appointed. Yeah.
No, I'm sure. Well, just even through this podcast, I think you've coached many without even knowing it. You know, I've learned to wipe my ass differently because of you.
Oh, thank goodness. That's the movement I'm trying to lead in this country.
So yeah, so that I think so. Therapy is more like from suffering to baseline. Life coaching is from like baseline to thriving. But because there's no board with life coaching and the internet and the commercialization of wellness, that's why life coaching is getting a bad rap. And there's a lot of people doing it that shouldn't be doing it, and that are pointing fingers and saying how you. But you know, the good's going to float up, and the people that do that, they're not going to get clients because who wants to go to those people? You know?
Right. Yeah, because the clients become the testimonials that it either works or not.
Right.
The other thing I would really hope that life coaches are taking into account is, and I only really am aware of this now from having 2 daughters, and they're both fucking opposites. Like everything that worked with the firstborn is just not working with the secondborn. And I'm acutely aware of how many systems we have that are just one-stop shopping. So school is like, it has a curriculum, a singular curriculum that's supposed to help all the kids, and it's just not going to happen. And likewise, I'd imagine what worked for me in getting sober or confronting the things I've confronted likely won't work for a huge majority of people, just because I have a very specific personality type. I hate authority.
Yeah.
I hate rules. You have to trick me, all these things. So I would just pray that these life coaches aren't just advising that what worked for them. You know, it's got to be challenging.
It's not a one fits all.
Okay.
You know, I think the skills of life coaching or a therapist is the questions you ask, using that as a rudder. With life coaching, there's some room for advice. You can say, I did this, it might work for you. But if you're a life coach and you're like, this is what you need to do, that makes me mad.
And that I'm in favor of, because the one thing I'm critical with therapy is, you know, people spend 8 years being led down the ultimate breakthrough. Whereas what I love about AA is like meeting number 2, some guy will pull you aside and go, listen, dude, you're full of shit. I'm the exact same way. Fuck that. Your wife's not that way. You're just being selfish. Like there is there's a element that I wish was in therapy, which was like, bullshit, time to make some contrary action.
This is also why I don't like therapy and therapists and the system, is because they teach you in school to be neutral, to not show yourself. And I get that. And I went the other way. So after therapy school and the angry therapist and people started wanting to do sessions, they wanted to do sessions online because they were all over the world. The internet, you know, this is like right after dial up. The board won't let you do that. And I said to myself, why? Why can't I help someone that needs help? I could save someone's life possibly if they're suicidal in China because we have that technology. Why would you stop that? So I had to call myself a life coach to get around that with a clinical background. And so I said, you know what? If we're going to talk about life, let's do life while we're talking. So I broke all the rules. I started sleeping with my clients. No, I'm kidding.
Step one.
Step one.
Date all my clients.
I said, let's go on a hike. Let's take it out of the room. I brought them into CrossFit boxes. I rolled up jeans, t-shirt to coffee shops. I never had an office. So what happened was I went rogue without knowing it.
Right.
I wasn't trying to be rogue. I just said, how can I help people in a way that's honest to me?
Right.
And so I started doing these weird things like that.
And how many clients did you have at one point, or patients, or do we call them patients in therapy?
Clients.
Okay.
Yeah. I had I had so much where I had to build a team because I couldn't do it by myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So that happened.
How many years ago was that?
About 3 or 4 years after the Tumblr and started getting some traction. Then everyone wanted sessions. And then, you know, I wanted to thread my life. I wanted to thread that into my life with my own self-betterment journey. I didn't want to lose my life. Right. So I started to, this is when I found CrossFit and then learned the power of fitness.
Yeah.
I was a guy in the gym that would just do the curls. I never knew what a squat was.
Curls for the girls.
Exactly.
Come on.
In the mirror by myself.
Sure.
Us weekly on the treadmill kind of thing.
Yeah.
The CrossFit made me realize functional fitness and all of that stuff, connection to my body. And
let's just say for the audience, because a lot of people know about Charlie Curtis, the Perfect 10, my calendar. You actually used to lift with Charlie.
Yes, we started together.
And would you just awe at him like I do of what a specimen he is?
Yes. So when I started CrossFit, I was there before him.
Okay.
And I thought I was actually good at it because I had the breakdancing background. So the body weight movements I was good at.
Right.
And then so when the big guys came, they were strong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was like, well, I could get you on the butterfly pull-ups or the what,
Sure.
you know.
Push-ups, pull-ups, all those things are.
Enter Charlie Curtis.
Uh-oh.
He's not only strong, but he's also fast.
Yeah.
And he's got the whole football thing.
And he's got the mental edge.
And he's quiet.
Yeah. What a force.
Which is scary.
Yeah, and gorgeous. I mean, he's a perfect 10. You don't earn that title around here lightly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Definitely. So
So through CrossFit, you started getting...
I started rebuilding myself, and I basically shattered every definition. What's your definition of a man? What's your definition of an athlete? What's your definition of a husband, a father, a lover, all that shit? I threw it all out the window.
So, and that's something you recommend is maybe challenging your
100%.
definitions?
Yes.
Yeah.
If not, our definitions are not just formed by us. They're formed by society, advertising, social media, wives, girlfriends, parents. Like, you know what I'm talking about? It's a collection of a lot.
Mhm.
And I'm a very simple, I just like very simple break it down to the nuts and bolts.
Mm-hmm.
And you're either living an honest life or a dishonest life.
Mm-hmm. That for you is
To me, that's just at the
the
end
crux
of
of all
right,
this.
Right. And so starting with being honest with yourself. But the thing about honesty is it changes. So like your definition of, say, a husband today may be very different than it was even 2 years ago.
Sure.
Right.
Well, and I say this often, again, through my own experience, honesty with oneself is a lot harder than you would
Oh, yeah.
think.
So your ability to have that revelation
Mm-hmm.
means that you've done work.
Well, right.
Most people don't have that ability.
Right. Again, and it is an outgrowth of having to think about my alcoholism because I think a lot of alcoholics feel they trust that they just have this desire to get a buzz on. That's fun.
Right.
They would never imagine that the brain has actually given them that desire so that they don't have to feel the discomfort they're feeling. You
Yes.
just take it as a simple urge to do something.
So first of all, it takes courage to actually start to follow that thread because it's going to come from pain or a wound or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then to fucking own it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that shift, I want to be different. Why? Because it's my definition of man, father, husband, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hero's journey itself. But you're also the minority because guys don't do that. It's actually one of my favorite things in that book. It's do, respond, don't react.
Do, respond, don't react. Okay.
Most people are walking reactions,
Mm-hmm.
right? We react, and our reactions stem from our story, our wiring,
Mm-hmm.
what we were told, our beliefs. So to be aware means to throw in that speed bump and to actually respond, which takes that ability, which takes a breath, which takes some insight, which takes knowing yourself. Think about this. If every man, so I've coached a lot of women with relationships and dating. For some reason, men don't follow me. Mostly women do. In the 30s ish.
Yeah.
And so it's all about love and dating. And I mean, I want more men to follow me. Hopefully they will. But
Yeah. Did
that's
you
one
have a
of the
theory
biggest-
on that before we move on?
yes, 100%.
What's your theory?
It's because I represent hope. The thing that I write about, like this kind of stuff, it's also the dialogue that you create. So people are seeing me as a flag, not as a person.
Okay.
So, here's a guy who rides motorcycles and CrossFits and cusses and whatever, and has tattoos and stuff, but he's also talking about looking inward.
Mm-hmm.
I want my guy to be like that, or I want to be with a guy like that. Not necessarily me, but I want to root for that because now it's not me, it's a message. It's what the world needs, you know? And so because most people have been in dysfunctional or toxic, whatever relationships, especially people that end up, on the chair in front of me, they're very thirsty for that safe space, that ability.
Well, I watched one of your videos before you came, and it was basically advising how someone should handle a breakup. And walk me through that, because you, right out of the gates, you choose to see a breakup as an expiration of
Yes.
the relationship.
And that's
Because there were a bunch of elements I agreed with, and then
Yeah.
there were some that I thought maybe I wasn't sure if I agreed
Sure.
with. But yeah, so
Sure.
walk me through what you think should happen.
I realized that a lot of people, breakups can be devastating, divorces, etc. And for me, the first thing that helps is to believe it's choice, and it may be hard to know that it's an expiration. I know it sounds very cheap, like milk, it's expired. But when you believe that something has expired and wasn't meant to go a day more or a day less, you have a peace with that, right?
Like that's closure in and of itself.
I believe so. It's the
Okay.
beginning of that, right? And then it's like, okay, now how am I going to when you're ready to re-examine the black box and take ownership of what your contribution was to the expiration.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Well, that's my favorite part of
Yeah.
your message is
Yeah.
the taking ownership.
Because no one
part.
does that.
No one does
No.
that. It's very easy to get distracted by all the failings of your partner. It's a lot easier. You don't have to dig as deep, and you don't have to challenge as many of your own identity issues and stuff. But minimally, everyone should recognize right out of the gates that they're the common denominator in all their breakups,
Yes.
right?
Which is hard to do.
It's really hard to
Yeah.
do. Everyone
Yeah.
generally likes to think that it was they picked wrong.
Well, because it forces you to look at yourself, and it means that you're not perfect, and now you're stuck with, oh shit, I got things I got to work on.
Yeah, and I almost think the easiest thing to first admit to yourself is, well, you picked the people. Let's say they were all terrible. Let's say you're actually right, and everyone you were with was a piece of shit, and you were flawless, and that's why it didn't work out. Well, you picked the person. And what are you going to do to prevent that you'll pick another person identical to the last 8 you did pick?
Right.
And so there's like some exploration to be done there.
But there's also, when we pick people, we're probably not aware of this. There's a subconscious dynamic that we're attracted to, maybe because it smells familiar. Maybe and this is also the addict Al-Anon thing. There's a lot of stuff happening underneath that's about more than just, oh, he's charming or she has a pretty face. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of underneath, and you can't get to that until we start this process of looking inward and figuring out where it comes from. Then you could start making different choices. Because if you're not aware of that, you may be chasing things that are not healthy. Like, I don't necessarily think the lightning in the bottle, I think that's actually kind of a red flag.
I think it's a big red flag.
I think the slow burn,
Yeah.
the
I think
peeling
love
of
at
layers.
first sight is a
Yeah.
big red flag.
Yeah, and that's romanticized, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, like this is the one."
Yes.
And I've known him for 2 minutes. It's like, or do you feel something in this dynamic that is coming from childhood?
Well, because
or-
respecting someone's integrity doesn't light your fire.
Right.
But that should probably be the cornerstone of why you're with somebody.
Right.
So the things that are substantial and should be the guiding force in a relationship are not sexy. They're not the sexiest things. You
Right.
don't see a woman or start talking to her and think, "Fuck, she'd be such a great mom." I'm so horny.
Right.
But really, that should be priority number one. Would this be someone I would want to guide a little person through life with?
I think there's a tipping point because especially for men, when we're in our 20s, because we think with the wrong head, we just go by what shoots the most dopamine in our brain, right? As we get older, as we go through many expired relationships, we start to move our chips into what beauty looks like and what, now we know that relationships are built. One of the things I love about you and your wife is that the way that you guys present yourself is so important, because from what I've seen, it's basically, this is us. We're not perfect. These are some of our struggles, right?
Yeah.
And what that does is it tells people that the picket fence has splinters.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe that, you know that there's work involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know that to build a marriage, there's ups and downs, and you're going to have to roll your sleeves up and all this kind of stuff. And I think the people coming up, if they think marriage is just, or any relationship is just based on the chemistry,
Yeah.
you're building on sand.
Yeah. Also, what's inherently paradoxical is if you want to be partners with someone that you have a deep respect for and you admire who they are, and then yet you also think that person's going to bend to your will, it is paradoxical.
Yes.
If you really are going to respect somebody, you have to probably recognize, oh shit, this person's got good self-esteem. They know where they're anchored in something, and everything's going to be a compromise. This person is worthy of me growing towards, and hopefully you're someone that's worthy of being grown towards as well. If you're looking for it to be easy, odds are you didn't pick someone that you ultimately are going to respect, in my opinion.
Yes.
You know,
You got to love like you're feeding pigeons, palm up,
Mm-hmm.
and then let them come to you when they want and whatnot. If you try to go after a pigeon, try to feed them, and I think a lot of people go at love.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it looks like. This is who you need to be.
Well, and I also think this is go back to the lightning striking love at first sight. I think there's like a few different reasons that can cause that. One, which I totally agree with you, which is just familiarity. You're mistaking familiarity.
Yes.
What you're really responding to is that person probably is your dad or your mom,
Yes,
or your sibling,
or what you've lacked, or what. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just you, and then second is your ego igniting, going, wow, this person is high status in
Yes.
some way,
The trophy.
and they like me,
Right.
and this is going to elevate my status.
Yes, that's what.
And that's a euphoric feeling, the notion that you're going to be upwardly mobile through someone else.
that's what my marriage was.
There you
Yes.
go.
You know.
She's on a pedestal,
Yes.
and she'll bring you up there with her.
Yes. Now I'm worth more.
Right.
So the divorce made me actually say, okay, now you're left with yourself.
Yeah.
What are you worth? And at the time, I was like, nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then fucking build something.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you attract different people. When you have self-esteem, you attract people with higher self-esteem, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I have a whole theory on attract versus chase. Most of my life, I was chasing shiny things. My definition of happy was, and this is because I was raised in LA and everyone has their own definition. It was the Porsche Range Rover combo and the horseshoe-shaped driveway, and the house in the hills, the beautiful wife, and the 3-picture deal, that kind of thing, right? Growing up in LA and pursuing screenwriting. That's a very chasing mindset, and I would exchange my truth for membership.
Mm-hmm.
I would seek. So whenever you're seeking validation approval, you are powerless,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you are attracting, you are power filled. Bowen talks a lot about the solid self and pseudo self, right? And is it a Caprice? The station wagon
Roadmaster station wagon
with the wood paneling and the 500 horses and the fucking gold rims. Like that's uniquely you, right?
Yeah.
That is your solid self. Now, if you decide to buy, say, a Porsche or Ferrari or whatever because you thought that other people, that would get looks, then that's very pseudo self.
Yeah.
So, and I always use the movie Fight Club as an example of this. We all have a pseudo and solid side, and our potential is always going to be when we're pulling from our solid self. Now, we're not solid 110% of the time. That's impossible. But you're very probably solid with your kids, with your wife, etc.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in front of someone you don't know or someone who intimidates you or someone, you're going to start feeling your pseudo tug.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when you start to exchange your truth for membership. This is when you go from...
I like that. Exchange your truth for membership.
Yes. And this is when you start going from attracting to chasing.
Mm-hmm.
When you are chasing, you're not going where you're supposed to be going.
Yeah.
You're going to hit cul-de-sacs and dead ends, which was most of my life. When you start attracting, I'm in an attracting state overall.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I believe I'm in this room with you.
Mm-hmm.
This would have never happened
If you were chasing.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
You would not, the universe wouldn't align this way,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we're creating this dialogue because I decided one day to be honest with myself. I really believe in living a through me life instead of a to me life. So there's these 4 stages. There's to me, by me, for me, and through me. And by me is the most powerless stage. It's basically, he dumped me, this didn't happen to me, I didn't get this, whatever, your victim mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
By me is fuck you, it's my way or the highway. It's all ego,
Mm-hmm.
which is not sustainable.
Right.
For me is when you get to a place where you're like, you know what, dude, I deserve this donut. I deserve this show. I work hard. I'm a good husband. I deserve this car,
Mm-hmm.
And then through me is the highest. That's very little ego. And that's when you believe that you are a conduit and there's something working through you that's greater than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a prism, like imagine light going through your shoe and then what comes out of your head is color.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be in a through me state if you are chasing
Mm-hmm.
or if you're pseudo.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to Fight Club, and if you haven't seen the movie, I'm going to give away the ending. It's one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about inner conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And so Edward Norton starts off very pseudo, lost, going to meetings, buying IKEA furniture, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he meets himself, which is Brad Pitt,
His id, kind of, yeah.
his solid self.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know they're starting fights and shit, but through the exchange and pulling from his solid self, He finds a movement, like he gets passion. He creates, whatever he was meant to create, right?
Yes.
And so I think that we all have a Tyler Durden.
Well,
and
on Fight Club, there was a breakthrough moment for me watching Fight Club. And I say this as someone who absolutely loves, worships, adores his mother. My mom's my favorite person on planet Earth. With that said, there's a scene where Tyler's in the bathtub and he and Ed Norton are talking, and Brad Pitt's character, Tyler, says, we're a generation of men raised by women. Maybe the last thing we need is another woman. And I just went, oh, fuck, that's the story of my life in a weird way. All my friends growing up, most of them were also single mothers. Right. And we were so drawn to each other, and we needed male approval so much, and male contact and male touch and all these things that I was like hyperdrive invested in friendships in my little male tribe. And I don't think it ever occurred to me until then, like, oh, right, you didn't have a dad around.
Fatherless nation.
Yeah.
I seriously maybe know one person who can honestly say they had this amazing father that gave them everything, self-esteem, worth, baseball games. I don't know anyone who actually had a dad around.
And we can say that with sympathy and empathy to dads above us. What the fuck else were dads supposed to do? They thought they had a very clear route, which was you go make money, you pay for a house and put food on the table, and that you're done. And that's what your full mission in life is to do. So how could they have possibly given us all the things we needed with the definition they were working
They didn't have the capacity, and that's okay. That's the old, and then there's the new. The soil is very rich for us to now create new definitions.
Yeah.
That isn't just about, bringing put the food on the table or whatever you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, I very much have one foot in the old and one foot in the new. There's still a bunch of old ones that I still cling to, even with the knowledge it's preposterous. So I still will remind my wife, when you guys are talking about like maleness is a problem or toxic masculinity, like when the shit hits the fan one day, and I knock 3 dudes out and get us out of this city in my fucking doom buggy,
right.
You're going to be reminded of my value.
Right.
I have that feeling.
Absolutely.
I have this caveman feeling that's like, oh yeah, it's all sweet love and daisies until it's not.
Right.
And then you're going to see my value. And it's even weird that I have that thought. And I can acknowledge that it's weird, and also that that's not the society we live in. My role as a alpha who will protect the village is largely not. It's vestigial. We don't live that way anymore. So I'm aware of it, yet I cling to it in weird ways. And then,
do you judge yourself or shame yourself for clinging to that?
Of course, yes. I think
because that's just energy. You're not out punching people in the face.
Well, here's why it's shameful to me is that it is still linked to an identity that I don't wish to have anymore.
Right.
So I know that it's a part of my identity that actually repelled people and didn't attract people. And I still have this kind of romantic notion of solving things the old-fashioned way.
Of course.
I don't know what I would do if I had a boy. So I watched this movie, The Mask You Live In, and I go, absolutely, where we're destroying boys. We're telling them you can't have feelings, you can't be empathetic,
Right.
stop fucking crying. We're defining them in opposition to being women. Don't be a fucking girl, don't be a sissy, don't be a pussy, don't be a fag. All these things that we're doing to boys is horrendous. And yet, if I had a boy who was getting bullied at school, I can't tell you that I wouldn't teach him how to punch a kid in the nose. It's like I have this conflicting thought of, well, I don't want my kid to be a victim. I don't want my kid to be the canary in the coal mine. I don't want my kid to be the first generation of men who's totally open, cries in public, and is loving, and then pay this horrendous price for that because the rest of society hasn't caught up to him.
Right.
So I just think it's super dense.
It is dense, and there's layers. It's complicated. You're also talking about two kind of extremes. There's also something in the middle.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. What is the healthy modern masculinity look like?
Well, I can't tell anyone what it looks like. I don't want to. I could only talk about my story and what it looks like to me, the things I've learned. I also think that masculinity isn't a stamp or a light switch. I think it's a journey. And when we stop that journey, we're now dropping the ball. So I've decided at 45 that I'm going to be a student to love. And I've been in many relationships. I've also been in a marriage. I'm starting with, I don't know shit, because that makes you curious instead of judgmental. Now teach me. And I think that if we took that approach with masculinity and honest about like, you know, all the stuff that's coming up for the fix it guy, I'm going to punch you in the face guy, but also the sweet guy. And you take all these things about you that are amazing and not judge them. And you see it as energy, right? And allow that to manifest in an honest way that is new. And I think the coming together is a journey, and that is your evolution. And you're going to continue to evolve and grow until you die.
I find this masculinity one to be the most painful one I challenge and try to shake weirdly.
Yeah. Well, because you have definitions, and I don't know how you were raised, but you probably have solid definitions on what a man looks like.
Totally. Like what's interesting is I did this even back in high school. I was kind of big. I could fight.
Yeah.
I was not living in fear, say by high school. And at the homecoming rally, and the assembly, I dressed as Tinkerbell, and I had this huge bag of glitter, a gallon-sized bag of glitter, and I was sprinkling it on the audience. And as I went by the football team that was all in one area, they were calling me fag, you fucking fag, right? And I was loving, like in a weird way, I was loving that I could push this gender thing because I felt confident enough that I wasn't. And then I on my second lap around, I took the whole gallon-sized Ziploc bag of glitter and dumped it on the football players, and they came after me, and principals ran out, and it was like a whole melee.
Right.
And it's so weird because I was at one time fighting dudes and trying to get that respect.
Sure.
And yet at the other time, I'm dressing like a girl, and because I hate it, and I think I'm in a position to help, like, because I can see other gay kids, and I know they're not in a position like I am to wear a ponytail like I would do, or whatever. So I've been at worse from day one about it. Like, I can feel it's wrong, and yet I'm participating in it, and it's all very weird.
It's
well, let me also add, too, while we're just on it, because I feel compelled to. So for every story where I did that, I put glitter on the football team. I also punched some poor guy in McDonald's at 3 a.m. because I was drunk, and I thought he was messing with me. And my best friend Aaron told me later that dude didn't really do anything. Like, I've hurt a bunch of people in pursuit of this. I've been totally unfair. There's a lot of ugliness too that I.
But you've
just wanna own.
established your identity as being a protector. You did that early, and so that comes up all the time. That came up when you were Tinkerbell, and also when you're punching people at McDonald's. It's all for the same reason of being a protector.
You got out. You came out of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? And it's not over.
I had a bad moment yesterday.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you're not punching people in the face in the parking lots, you know?
The 5-year-old smacked the 3-year-old really hard, like the hardest I've ever seen her. And I just instinctually acted like in rage.
Of course.
I grabbed the 5-year-old firmly. I said, "Do not hit my baby."
Yes.
And then she ran off sad. And then 8 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I just did the same thing to her she did to the 3-year-old. Something triggered her, and she acted out that way. And then that thing triggered me, and then I acted out. And then we all had to sit down. I had to go, I'm so sorry. I did the exact same thing I was mad at you about. I'm wrong. I suck. And just, I just want to say my story's so far not over. I'm still fucking up daily. But I want to get back to your book. So you've identified what you believe is a huge problem, which is a generation raised without men. Now, how do we self-heal, or how do we claw ourselves out of that, or how do we give ourselves what should have been given to us by a dad?
First, we actually have to shake our own life Etch-a-Sketch. We also have to decide that we're going to go on a man journey, which means from the known to the unknown. We have to slay our dragons. For you, it might be addiction or whatever, fighting or whatever. I've got my own dragons. And come back to the village changed so we could share that story that's then no longer about us. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's that decision to want to do that first, right? And that doesn't mean just to read books and go to seminars. It's a lifestyle.
Well, in your own
know
life,
this.
it sounds to me in your own life like you didn't have that. And then through CrossFit, you got validation from other men. So you got a masculine validation.
Sure. And CrossFit's just one piece. But
Right.
You're right.
And then through riding motorcycles, that's another
Connecting
kinda-
to that part of myself that I locked away.
But I would say that in your case, it seems like those endeavors that you got some kind of masculine approval that in a healthy way. And so is it right or wrong to search out, if you're a man who didn't get that from dad, some kind of mutual male approval, but just maybe try to aim it in the healthy direction? I mean,
Yes.
is it wrong to pursue validation from other men?
No, of course not.
Okay.
We're always going to seek some form of validation and approval because we're human. That's never going to stop. It's making decisions based on how much you seek that. So here's the other thing: is I think that men can sharpen each other more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whether we do it through fitness, motorcycles, conversation, whatever it is, we have the power to either sharpen each other or to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
I think more than anything, and that's why I think it's so important that men like yourself and other men who are kind of on the forefront and creating a dialogue to start that, to get that going. And I think the way to do it isn't to point fingers; it's to say, "I'm coming with you, not at you." And I think if we take it back to high school, and you have the 5% of the cool kids, whether they're athletes or the badasses or whatever they're doing, what if those 5%, instead of posturing, decided to be vulnerable and show themselves and say, "Hey, this is what a real man looks like"? They would actually lead and impact the whole 80%.
Oh, 100%, because the other 80% is just going to do whatever the hell
100%, right.
Yeah.
So it could happen. It could happen because we all have megaphones. We all have social media.
Yeah.
And there is that 5% out there. If those 5%, and this is why I think it's so important, is like the 5% of the guys out there, if they start to look inward and start this journey and share it and document it and bring up revelations, and we can start to relate, the nerds and the guys that are scared start to relate to them, and we see them at street level, and now they become brothers instead of bullies. Now we have a movement, and now we could change the 80%.
Yeah, sometimes I get pessimistic that at that age, adolescence, that's just way too big of an ask. Like they're so in.
They don't. Well, yeah. I mean,
just a very primitive state almost.
You don't have the capacity.
I think the thing we can do on our side is like, who in our society do we hold up? Because ultimately, that 5% of guys, they're emulating, Conor McGregor,
Yes.
or all these other people that we hold up and give greatest validation and esteem to. I think that's maybe the only side of the equation that we as older men can have some sway in, is like, who are we making the heroes of our society?
Right. But it doesn't have to be macro. So it could be death by 1,000 cuts. So it could be communities. So you don't have to be rich and famous. I mean, if you are, great, you've got reach, but you could be a coach at your fitness box. And in that classroom, there's going to be a percentage of the kid that got bullied and whatever, and they're looking up to you to lead. And you could either lead by saying, "Don't be a pussy and do this and pick up that fucking weight," or you could be a different man, connect with that person, and now the human exchange has happened.
I do always think it would be cool. Like, I actually want more than anything to talk to Conor McGregor on this podcast, because
that'd be amazing.
I see a man who is as big of a warrior as you can get.
Yeah,
and yet I also see a man who's got 26 Lamborghinis, and I think, oh, even that guy is still wrestling with all the same shit. There's no way that's going to fill him up. I would love to know what's going on, and I'd love to urge anyone that's occupying this super, quote, masculine space to take 5% of their message and make it vulnerability.
Can you imagine if Conor walked in here?
Knocked me out.
Not knocked you out. Showed the sensitive side to him because he has it too. He's not just a warrior. He's got pieces.
Yeah.
Parts of him that he is afraid to say because people see him a certain way. Can you imagine?
Well, he has a brand almost
Of
that's
course.
fearless.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
But can you imagine if he did that, what would happen is that ripple, that dent
Mm-hmm.
would go 10 times further than him rolling in with his boys and the car collection.
Oh,
because that's predictable.
1,000%. And then
And
also,
it takes courage to do that.
like Tyson, that's why I love Mike Tyson. He is the best interviewee ever because he will own, like, he's not a warrior because he had a great nurturing upbringing. He was
Right, no, he was-
victimized
yeah.
time and time
Yeah.
again. This was like the only option for him to stop being a victim. And, you know, we shouldn't be striving to replicate his situation, or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know?
What did you get from him in that interview that you're like, oh, wow, I didn't see this side of him?
Oh man, one of my favorite things was Howard Stern said to him, you know, Howard's obsessed with the notion that he lost $500 million, that Mike Tyson somehow lost $500 million. I'm obsessed with that.
I didn't know that. Now I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's just like I covet money. I covet the security quote of money. And yeah, the notion, like, I can't even imagine carrying on after I lost $500 million. So you think about getting over a divorce. In my mind, what it's like to have a $500 million and then have nothing, to me, sounds like you can't even come back from that.
Right.
And he's like really drilling in on it. And he's expecting Mike to feel all this loss. And Mike Tyson goes, listen to me, Howard. I have friends that are billionaires, kill themselves with families. They're billionaires. They have everything. They have planes. They have yachts. They fucking kill themselves. Howard, I have something so much more than $500 million now. And I'm like, oh my God, what a place to get to be at peace, having lost that, and to actually recognize that you could have way less than no money. You could be a billionaire and have no love and have no optimism or anything. It was just very powerful.
Yeah.
I mean,
It hits harder because it's coming from that 5% guy.
totally.
That's why it hits so hard. And that's why I feel like those people have so much power if they look inward and actually make that step to be courageous, you know,
Yeah, and pull back the curtain a little bit.
all the way. Fucking rip them off the rods.
Yeah, I'm sure even Mike Tyson, when he put that belt on for the first time at 19 or 20 or whatever he did, and he probably assumed all of his fears would evaporate in that moment, and they certainly didn't. You can't, there's no fixing the internal stuff with external things, unfortunately.
Sure. I met him once, and I remember, so when we had that restaurant bar for about a year, it was very scenic, and he came in, and I walked up to him, and I said, hey, you know, my cooks love you. It would be amazing. He looked at me. He said, sure. And he went back there, and he spent like half an hour with those guys, and they were like peeing their pants. And I was like, here's a real dude. Now, I also asked that with a couple other people I'm not going to name, but actors. And I couldn't talk to them. You had to go through their people. I was trying to get them a drink or host them. It didn't work.
Yeah.
You know who does hold up, though, is Matt Damon.
Oh, Monica's
He
not
loved my
surprised
life.
to
Okay,
hear
so
that.
Matt Damon came in, and I'm saying Matt Damon because I'm not talking shit. I'm applauding him because he came in and he hung out with us after the club, sat in the little VIP Airstream trailer. And I remember it was just me, him, and the promoter, and he was treating me like we went to high school together. And he had no reason to do that. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, like he's a real guy. Like he actually, is who he is. And he says, he doesn't come off as a someone who's better than you or posturing. So again, he would be a good example of the 5%. And his power isn't physically hurting people, but it's his.
But he has an alpha status.
Yeah, and he's smart.
He
and,
deserves one.
And the women love him, and he's got all that. But holding up and showing a humanistic side to him to someone that he doesn't know, and it's also not being documented, right? So they say that what you're doing when no one's watching, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, Kristen and I's therapist has this saying he says all the time, which is do something nice for somebody and don't tell anyone.
Yeah, yeah. I have a little man sheet on the back of my book, and he's in there because of that story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have a many chapters, but is there?
It's 66 do's and don'ts, so I just make it very simple. But I want to be careful. I'm not providing a checklist. This all relates to my story, and there's going to be things that you don't agree with, and I state that on page 1. I always bring it back to my story. I try not to use a lot of shoulds. I use a lot of I statements.
Right. Well, great. What's next? What's the end goal for you? Do you let yourself fantasize about that, or are you just going with the flow?
I'm going with the flow. I'm trusting the universe. I kind of feel like I've come full circle where I finally have the ability to let go. I believe that when I was in my 30s when I was doing the whole club thing and the screenwriting, all this, there was a lot of opportunity that almost happened. And I think if they did, I would be the douchebag in the Ferrari cutting people off, and
right.
I think that needed to not happen. And what's interesting about stories in the universe is now, instead of screenwriting, I'm writing books and blogs. So the writing has continued, it's just in a different format.
Well, this is Monica's great sentence that she learned from her grandma, which is love who loves you back.
Love the thing that loves you back. And it wasn't you want it to be my grandma.
I know, she's so fucking hot. I just imagine how sexy it'd be if she said that to you.
I know, she didn't. But
was it, your
somebody
aunt?
did.
It's just somebody.
Yeah, I heard it somewhere. But love the thing that loves you back.
Oh.
And so if you're singular driven on a singular goal,
Right.
your eyes are pretty closed to
Possibilities.
possibilities, and also realizing where you're wanted, what you're saying or doing that
Right.
actually people are interested in. And it's hard, especially if you're a goal-oriented person. I certainly am.
Yeah.
To get to a point where you're on the river and the river's going in one direction. You allow yourself to go with it and not see that diversion as a failing,
Right.
as much as just staying open-minded and also maybe. I also think it's just great to acknowledge that you don't know yourself as good as you think you do.
Right.
You don't actually know what's best for you. I just, in my own life, so many things I didn't want to do turned out to be the best things.
Yeah.
Most of the things that went exactly as planned did not yield the results I thought they were gonna.
It's the idea of not fighting the universe. Because, like movies, there's always setups in your life, and we don't know when they're going to pay off,
Yeah. Well, I love it. John, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I wish you a ton of luck on the book again.
Thank you.
It is called...
I Used to Be a Miserable Fuck, A Man's Guide to a Meaningful Life.
I couldn't say it because, of course, I don't say fuck on this.
Yeah, you're very pristine.
Well, thank you, John.
Thank you for having me.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman.
All I want to do is check some facts. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. All I want to do is check some facts. I got a feeling the party has just begun.
Ooh, that was a good one. Did someone recommend that?
They did.
Who was it?
They really did. For some reason on my screen capture, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't say.
No.
Well,
doggone it.
Whoever you are, thank you.
We love you.
We love you.
We love you so much. Well, it's nice to have a real well-written fact check song again.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I've been stubborn
I missed it.
insecure, really, is what it is.
Is
what it
it?
boils down to. Yeah, is that it was running out of steam. I was getting annoying and laborious. Oh, here comes, I got to listen to some
Which
song.
then made me insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, oh, I'm not good enough for a song.
No. I'm just always trying to give folks the best show possible.
Which means not giving me a song.
Well, no.
Not talking about me.
No.
Not
No.
having me here.
Wait a minute. No.
I'll
You're the
go.
best part of the show. You're going nowhere.
Oh, it's Sunday morning again, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's early in the morning. We have a long day ahead, a birthday party.
We have a pending birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you're joining me at work next week,
That's
which
right.
is so fun. We're doing this on the weekends because I'm shooting 2 TV shows at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And one of those TV shows, Bless This Mess.
I'll be there.
And you'll be bossing me around.
I think so.
Which is what you do best.
I know. I was born to play it.
I felt bad for other people auditioning because it's like they haven't bossed me around for 4 years and you
No.
have.
Yeah. I had a leg up.
You really did.
So next time we record this, we'll either
Be celebrating.
or be
You'll have gotten
crying.
fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always an option.
Well, it is always an option, but not in this case.
Look, I'm getting nervous.
Okay.
This is starting to make me
That's your
nervous.
new pattern, though. You like to think you're going to get fired.
Well, I don't
Remember your
like
commercial?
to. I just do think that.
I know, but it's just not going to happen.
I did think that for that commercial. I didn't get fired, but they should have fired me because I sounded horrible. I had a horrible cold. I sounded bad.
But do you think maybe they just forgot what your voice sounded like? They were like, that sounds a little different, but I guess that's her voice.
Maybe.
They probably didn't think you had Ebola or something, did they?
You know what? That commercial hasn't aired.
So now you got a new
So-
theory that it was so bad they had to shelve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do we have such useless thoughts?
Our brains are not healthy.
No, a portion of our brain is out to get us all day long.
Betraying itself constantly.
While we're sleeping, it's just preparing its
Attack.
its strategy
I know.
to lower
I
our
don't know.
self-esteem and make us hate ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, good thing we have each other
Yeah.
because you point out when I'm being absurd, and
Yeah.
I guess that's why you need a network of people.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, when I was listening to Thomas Middleditch,
Mm-hmm.
I love when he does his English accent.
Oh,
It's so
yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what a leg up he has, though. His parents were Brits.
He grew up in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He grew up hearing that sound. Although I grew up hearing an Indian accent and I can't do one.
Can't or have never tried?
Both.
Both. Well, then you can't know if you
Well,
can if you've never
No,
tried.
okay. I've tried.
Oh, secretly in your bedroom?
I think.
Oh.
And I really am not good at it. And
Really?
But I also really don't want to be good at it. So
Yeah.
it's a catch. Who knows? It's a catch.
Catch,
22.
deuce, deuce. Do you think if you were really great at it, you couldn't resist the urge to make people laugh? See, that would be me. I would disgrace my whole family if I thought I could get a laugh in the moment.
No.
No.
Because, I already don't think it's funny.
Right.
So I definitely wouldn't do that. I also am not good at accents at all.
Not British one?
No, not even really Southern. And again, that's a little bit sad, but I think it has to do with, I think it's a part of my brain that's faulty. And I think it's the same part that makes me unable to recognize music.
Oh, okay.
So when a song starts, it takes me a while before I recognize the song.
But it is curious that you
weird.
don't have a Southern accent at all. No residual at all.
Yeah.
Is that common in Atlanta?
Yeah.
It
I think
is?
so. Yeah.
Oh,
I know a lot of people that don't have any just
Okay.
because it's so suburban. It could have been anywhere.
yeah, but like Huey's got the best accent. He's from Nashville.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
he's-
Nashville, the city, is far more Southern than Atlanta. Atlanta,
Okay.
the city, is not,
It's not Southern.
it's more city-like,
Oh, okay.
I would say.
All right. Well, I would love it if because your mom's got a pretty thick Savannah accent.
Right, but remember, I didn't even know that until you told me.
Yeah, right. When I within 3 words of meeting her, I was like, "Ooh, she's got a nice thick Southern accent."
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like anything that kind of challenges what your brain is used to.
What
Like
do
I
you
used to work with a guy at GM who was Chinese,
Oh.
first generation, and he was from Texas, and he had a real thick Southern accent.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of fun, unmet expectation.
There's some disconnect.
Yeah, some dissonance.
Yeah, you like that.
Mhm.
You think that's what comedy is.
Well, some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's point out something fun. Is Wobby Wob's not here?
Right.
He's vacationing somewhere.
We don't know where.
Nope.
He just took off.
He just vanished, like Kaiser Sose.
Oh.
And so you're doing all the tech stuff, and it's really fun. But also, you're a little nervous that it's shutting down, which is natural.
Because I'm not next to it.
Yeah, you have a lot on your shoulders. You have the fact check. You have to be fun and interesting and dispel the
Sure.
erroneous claims.
Sure.
And then you also got to run this whole board over there.
And I have frillies on my shoulders.
Super
today.
cute outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't really dress for the occasion. Like you should be in coveralls.
I like to buck the system in that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Comedy.
Okay, John Kim.
Yeah.
So when his family moved over, they went to Columbus, Georgia for a few years.
Mm.
And Columbus is where my cheerleading state competitions were.
Oh,
Both of
really?
those, years. Yeah.
They
They're in
host every
Columbus.
year.
Mm-hmm.
What makes them so perfectly suited to host this state championship? Do they have a beautiful arena there or something?
Yeah, there's just a big stadium there, I guess.
There is?
Yeah.
Who
there
funded
is,
that? Is it called like the boy, my brain's not, or the Checkers Stadium?
No.
You know, I really associate Checkers fast food with Georgia because that was the only place I ever got it when I was younger.
Yeah. Which is also Rallies? Or did we have a fight about this before?
Yeah, I don't believe it is.
And I think
although
it is.
the reason I think you think that is because they both have a breaded French fry, which is delicious. Rallies, French fries, and Checkers are breaded. They're so good.
I don't think that's why I thought that because I've never been to Rallies.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Okay.
But I just thought that. Like, I thought that based on knowledge that they were the same and that it was just regional. Why one's called one thing and the other's called another thing. And we also thought that about Crystals and White Castle and you.
Well, no,
said
I didn't
to
think
that.
that. Yeah. And also, what Rallies is associated with, which is really confusing to me, is Hardee's. So now commercials will be for Rallies and Hardee's. And now those were two distinct different hamburger chains. When I was a kid in Michigan, they bore no resemblance to one another, but they have somehow merged.
Oh.
Isn't that
'Cause
interesting?
I thought Hardee's was also equivalent to something else.
You just reminded me of one of the best periods of my life. Aaron Weekly, my best friend, worked at Hardee's for a little minute.
Oh.
And he was the cook.
Oh.
And so I would come in and I would order like a single burger for 60 cents.
Uh-huh.
And he would make me a triple cheeseburger, like a special burger no one else got.
Oh.
Yeah, he'd give me about $2.40 worth of food for 69 cents. It was
Wow.
so great. And then he would just shovel a bunch of fries into the bag.
That's really a good friend.
That's about the best job a friend can work at in high school. Because all I really wanted was just fast food and a ton of it.
Tons, yeah.
But I was on a budget.
Sure.
Couldn't roll into Hardee's and drop $9 on a triple cheeseburger. And
Do you have to have some sort of experience?
Culinary
to do
degree?
that? Yeah.
no, I think they, he was
low
only
bar.
16 or 17.
Well,
Yeah. I told you the funny thing is about going back to Michigan, and I always forget it, is that teenagers run all the restaurants.
yeah.
Is it that way in Georgia?
Yeah, not all the restaurants, but a lot of young people working at these places, yes.
I'll go into a gas station at 1 a.m. in Michigan. There's a damn 15-year-old managing the whole place.
Ah,
and I love it. I always think like this person's so ill-equipped to deal with some kind of
everything.
emergency.
Yeah, yikes.
Like, many parents in Michigan have received a call at 1 a.m. from their 15-year-old going, oh, my God, I'm running the mobile gas station and a pump just exploded. What do I do?
What do I
Like, don't you
do?
think they'd call their parents first?
Of course.
Not
yeah.
the manager.
Probably not.
You get mom or dad on the phone.
That's
Mom,
what I would do.
there's a man in the store without his pants on. That's the kind of thing you're going to see a lot.
For sure. I'm scared for them.
Depends what kind of 15-year-old you are, because I would
Yeah.
have loved that, just gathering different bizarre experiences.
Yeah,
Probably getting held up.
I know.
Well, they probably make the right decision, which is just fork over the $80 in the register.
I hope so.
Don't put up a fight. It's just it's paper in a register.
But I kind of think kids wouldn't do that because they wouldn't know, like,
Just a cooperator. They get too nervous.
They get
Drop the
nervous.
money all over the floor, and the person would think that was a stalling decoy.
or that they tripped a silent alarm by dropping it.
Right.
Yeah.
A silent alarm at a mobile gas station.
Anyway, so that's where I won my victory,
Oh.
plural.
Which then
Victories.
sent you to nationals.
No, God.
You don't have a national title?
Yeah. How many times have I said it?
Oh.
We weren't allowed to go because of SAT scores. I told you that.
Because of SAT scores.
Yeah, as a state. The SAT scores
Oh
were
my.
so low.
Oh no. So Georgia's state SAT mean was so low
Yeah.
that they wouldn't let you guys compete in nationals?
Yeah, and now I'm wondering if
terrible
I'm wrong.
punishment.
But I'm pretty. That was definitely what we were told. That was the rumor.
Oh, it was a rumor.
Well, no, I'm saying now maybe that was a rumor. Maybe I
Hmm.
just didn't know the truth. But we were not allowed to go any further. State was the highest you could do in Georgia at that time.
I'm gonna float another idea.
Okay.
The Nationals was sponsored by Sunkist that was trying to promote orange consumption, and Georgia is the peach state, and they didn't want a competing fruit.
That sounds most likely. Yeah.
Doesn't that
Yeah.
sound like what really happened?
Yeah, I think
I
that's
just
what
can't imagine punishing. I bet the median SAT score on the cheer squad was probably
Fine. Yeah, it was probably
So
fine.
why punish those kids?
I know. But I think it had to do with the sports across the board in Georgia.
Again, unless it was the specific athletes. Like well, by the way, I don't really understand. But the way the football players have to have a 2.0 to play.
Right. You think that's bad?
Well, at least it has it's to motivate individually. Yes, I do think it's bad. You'd really need to watch the 3 seasons of Last Chance
Well, I
U.
watched it.
Here's why I don't agree with it. Some of these kids that are showing up at these colleges have come from these tiny little rural communities where they really have a 4th grade education.
Yeah.
And this football thing is the only good thing in their
I
life.
agree.
It's their only chance at going through a college and doing this thing. And then you're just holding them to a standard of all these other kids that went to good schools, who had parents who helped them study, all this stuff. So all you're doing is you're taking someone who's already completely disadvantaged, and you're taking one more thing away from them. And to what end? Don't get me wrong. I understand the theoretical thing, which is they should leave here at least with an education.
Yeah.
But all in practice it means is they just leave there immediately. So they get nothing.
Right.
I mean, I think the kids that are going to get a 2 point and above are going to get it anyways. And then you're just going to kick a bunch of kids out who can barely read. It's just this one thing they could possibly excel at.
Yeah. Okay, so I looked up why the term Oriental is offensive. And in 2009, New York Governor David Paterson signed a bill that banned state documents from using the term Oriental when referring to people of Asian or Pacific heritage. And Jeff Yang, an Asian pop columnist.
Columnist.
Yeah, that sounded...
You're going to drop the N.
Yeah, that sounded really weird.
Columnist.
For the San Francisco Chronicle, did a little interview about this. And he said, I think history really does play a huge role in this. It's a term which you can't think of without having that sort of the smell of incense and the sound of a gong kind of in your head. And, beyond that, the cultural baggage that comes with it. It's something which has been associated with racist campaigns, with stereotypical imagery. And, frankly, it's not a very precise term. When you think about it, Orient translates into East. It's a term that feels old, it feels antiquated, and for it to even be kind of contemplated occasionally in a casual usage is something which Asian Americans certainly feel uncomfortable with. So...
Yeah, I totally understand them feeling uncomfortable with it, and it should be avoided. But I'm glad to hear that I'm not wrong in that it just is the opposite of Occidental, right? Doesn't Occidental mean West and Oriental means East?
Occidental means West?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I should double check that on Google, but yeah, I'm almost positive. Occidental and Oriental are opposites, relating to the countries of the West. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's an Occidental college out here, right?
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's so interesting, words and the power that we give them, and then also
And
the
that
baggage they pick up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that just starts as a straight definition. It's probably Latin in origin, but then it gets used in a pejorative way for so long, you got to ditch the word.
Yeah. They're definitely powerful words. We talk about that a lot on here.
It's funny because at both times I can relate to the people on both sides. So I do believe at some point we'll say Asian was wrong. It'll evolve. And I think people are like, oh, what do we have to say now? So I do understand the, even we deal with this all the time, like mental retardation or mentally disabled. It's all the same thing. And if you're saying it in a positive, non-judgmental way, it just feels like, okay, well, we're just going to keep using a different word, but you knew my intentions the whole time. But I should have said the other part first. The other part is, yeah, there's always going to be change.
Yeah.
Things are going to evolve. An expectation that things aren't going to change is actually not realistic.
Yeah.
And you just have to accept that there's going to be change all the time. And it's it's not a personal attack on you that things evolve and change. And that's just the nature of
Yeah.
civilization.
Yeah. And if your intention is to be positive,
Mm-hmm.
then it shouldn't bother you when you hear, oh, that's not positive, because then you can just change the
Yeah.
thing and your intention is the same, which is I'm just trying to communicate about this person or this race or this thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be annoying to hear that that's offensive, because if your intention is good,
Yeah.
then why does it matter what the word is?
Yeah, I guess I came up against this personally the other day because I referred to on the podcast someone being transsexual. Now, when I grew up, the responsible thing to do was to know the difference between a transvestite and a transsexual.
Right.
A transvestite was someone who dressed
Yeah.
like a gender other than the one they were
Yeah.
originally associated with as a baby. And then transsexual was someone who had gone through some level of gender
Anatomy.
reassignment
Yeah.
surgery. And someone said that I couldn't say transsexual. And I did for a minute have this thought of like, no, I actually took the time to learn the difference between the both and I used it correctly. But then I thought, oh, maybe now you can't say, I don't know. And I did have a moment of like, oh, this is frustrating. I would have to like dedicate time to staying abreast of all these different words. But to your point, big deal. I have to stay abreast of
Well, it's
them.
not even you have to stay abreast. If you say it and someone says, oh, actually, you can't say that, then you're going to say, oh, okay. And the next time you won't say it. It's not like you have to go out searching for every correct thing all the time. But when somebody tells you and someone brings it to your attention, great. Now you know.
Yeah.
We can't know everything.
No.
We can't know everything. But we
I'm
can
trying.
be open. Exactly. You can be open to hearing from other people
Yeah.
and adjusting.
Well, I
moving
did
forward.
defend myself on Twitter. I was actually referring to someone who, because the whole point was how rude it is for people to ask trans, what I would have said before, transsexuals, whether or not they've had their genitals changed, which seems to be a huge curiosity of people when they're hearing
Yeah.
it. And I was pointing out that that was wrong. And then even in doing that, I had someone thought I did it wrong, but
Yeah.
so I did defend myself, which was probably the wrong move. Anyways, live and learn.
Oh, he asked an interesting question, which we kind of blew over, but he said, what's the female equivalent to boys dancing? Because he's saying boys who are good at dancing is like a universal attraction for females. And what is the opposite? And you made a joke saying like they should just be breathing or something, which is funny. But I wonder if there is a real thing like that. What do you think? Do you
Well,
think?
I do think guys also find women dancing very stimulating and attractive. Because what dancing really imbues is confidence. And I think
Yeah.
we all agree confidence is very attractive.
I know. Okay, yes. I think it is to a healthy person. But I kind of think, I've been thinking lately that maybe it's not all that. Maybe if you yourself are unhealthy or super insecure, like you are,
You want
you're
someone else.
attracted to that. It's like really bad, but maybe that it makes you feel better about yourself if somebody else is equally insecure or more so.
Well, I could see someone who's a like pathological control freak and wants a partner who they can control and manipulate. That would they would not be going after someone who's got a lot of confidence,
Right.
But I do think conventionally, I've found this to be anecdotally true. You match up self-esteem. People seem to match up couples on their own self-esteem. And that's what I think gets dicey in relationships where one person's taking a lot of actions to improve their self-esteem through maybe physical fitness and then they outgrow the partner.
Yeah.
And I think one of the elements is, they now have different self-esteem. And when you have different self-esteem, you see the world differently.
Right.
Like in one scenario, you kind of feel like a victim to the world. And in another one, you feel like maybe you have some kind of sway over the world.
Right.
I could see those being incompatible worldviews.
Yeah.
But I do think what's going on in a primitive sense is like in a chimpanzee troop. Is it a troop? Boy, I should know that. That's embarrassing. I think everyone's trying to get with as high status of a person as they can.
Yeah.
And confidence reads as status, I think. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on in the reptilian brain that you're not even aware of.
Right.
is like, oh, I would like to be with the highest status person that's within my realm of getting.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can overcome that. I've overcome that. I've like maybe assessed someone as not high status, but then I got to know their personality and it was intoxicating, and then I didn't even think about that.
It's like, what do you mean by status, you know?
Pecking order in your social circle. Like in junior high, you know, it's pretty obvious who's highest status and who's lowest status.
It's kind of. I mean, it's like there's
I should say in
popular
my high
people
school, right.
who would be. There's also really smart people who in other ways would be too, but they are not in the same way and not. So I think there's more variation.
Sure. Little like modular groups within the bigger group.
Yeah. I also think attraction is so much about how that person makes you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So status can go out the window. It's why successful people are with not successful people.
But
and people are always like, why is that person with that person? It's because that person is making this person feel very good about themselves.
Mm-hmm. But then that comes full circle. So if the kid in your 4th grade class who everyone knows eats his boogers and eats glue,
Ugh.
he tells you you're pretty, it doesn't make you feel the same way as the most desirable guy telling you look pretty.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
But I do think
yeah.
you're going, oh, well, this guy eats his boogers.
It's not that stupid. You don't really want somebody running around eating glue and eating their boogers and stuff around you. I get that.
But what's silly is, you know, someone's opinion that you're pretty is someone's opinion. Like, but yeah, you won't count that.
Right.
You're like, oh, that doesn't mean anything. That guy eats his boogers and glue. You know, he thinks boogers taste good. So if I'm pretty, you know, he didn't say meatloaf tastes good. He thinks boogers taste good. So of course he thinks a non-pretty person is pretty.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess you're saying dancing.
I wish there was I do think we're way less discerning though.
I
guys.
do too. Well, I think it's so physical for you boys.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself that was not the case for me. I mean, granted, like Randy Hammond was the prettiest girl in my junior high, but she had a kick-ass personality. And
Yeah.
she was the best high jumper in our kind of county.
Yeah, you said that.
And then Carrie
Love
Hargrove had the best personality of anyone in Walled Lake, Michigan. I mean, she was a firefly. She was also cute, but I mean, there were girls as cute that I had zero interest in because they weren't a Spitfire.
Yeah.
I always like to party. Someone that you can really have a blast with, just sitting at a restaurant having coffee.
Right. But you're talking about
I get so bored of
dating.
just staring
You're
at
talking
someone
about
pretty.
dating.
Yeah, I'm just saying staring at someone pretty for me wears out real quick.
Yeah.
I need to have an engaging, fun, challenging conversation or trying to make each other laugh, which is not to say I didn't date some dumbasses that were hot, because I also did that.
And you've also had sex with a bunch of them.
Oh, sure. Sex is a different category.
That's what
for
I'm
me.
saying. But that's just pure
Yeah.
attraction.
For me, sex,
dating's
I can
different.
have sex with anyone nearly. Truly.
Really?
Yeah. Especially when I drank.
Well, sure. Yeah.
When I drank, you know, sky's the limit. Do you find when you get drunk that people get more attractive to you?
No.
Really?
Which I know that's a thing. I mean, I know everyone gets like looser when they're
Yeah,
drunk.
a little hornier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. Which that does happen, but it's not directed at people don't become more attractive.
Oh, they don't?
Well, I'm trying to think actually.
I would have like friends that I'm like, do not find them attractive, but I'd be hammered and all of a sudden I'd be staring at them like, she is very attractive. And this would be it would be a thought I only had when I was hammered.
But then would it stick? Would it like after the next day where you're like,
No.
oh, now no.
No. You haven't like found yourself chatting with someone, like a friend, you're like, they are hot. And then the
No,
next morning you're
that's
like,
happened.
then the next morning when you're sober, you're like, oh, that's funny. I was thinking so-and-so was hot. I don't really think that.
Yeah, that has
Oh,
probably
okay, good.
happened. That has probably happened. It's hard to say because I'm mainly thinking back to like when I was much younger.
College.
Yeah, and I think at that time I was like hoping everyone would be attracted. Like I wanted to be
Horny for everyone.
I just wanted somebody.
Uh-huh.
So it was like I was forcing my brain to try to see them as attractive, but I didn't.
Right.
So it's hard to differentiate who I really was attracted to and who I just wanted to be attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But I don't have that anymore.
Mm.
I don't have that thing where I'm like hoping somebody's attractive in a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway. Oh, is Christian Hosoi, is he half Asian? Yes. His father is of Japanese descent from Hawaii and his mother is Caucasian.
Caucasoid.
Yes.
Oh.
So he's half Oriental. I'm just kidding.
He's half Occidental, half Oriental. He's half Oxy, half Ori, 100% Ental.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 100% Ental.
I'm hungry.
Oh, okay. Should we leave?
Did the Dukes of Hazzard model car have a Confederate flag on it? Yes.
Sure, of
A
course.
huge one I saw.
Absolutely. Well, you can't name a car the General Lee
Right.
and not put a rebel flag on
That's
the roof.
true. That's true. It's on brand.
Yeah. It'd be like naming the car the Adolf Hitler and not put a swastika on the
Well,
roof.
I hope
if
you
you're calling the car the Adolf Hitler, I'm sorry, but it's going to probably have a swastika on the roof.
If you're calling a car that, you're not my friend.
I think I've talked about this already, but you know what's funny is I am obsessed with all these different historical figures, and I read the Grant biography, Ulysses S. Grant, who famously won the Civil War for the North, and I kept resisting reading a book about Robert E. Lee.
Oh.
Just because I'm on,
'Cause you're on
this side of history, you know?
Yeah.
And I finally did read a biography on him, and super fascinating guy, and just an incredible tactical genius. And it's just really funny that I had to like have a hurdle
Yeah.
to enjoy hearing about his life.
Yeah. That's okay. It's okay to have.
It's interesting.
It's okay to have some moral.
Yeah, but if I was reading about the Visigoth general who overthrew Rome, I have no connection to that. So
Yeah.
I can just read about history and enjoy whatever, the protagonist of that story.
Yeah.
It's also interwoven with racism and slavery.
Well, that's what I was about to say. What happened with General Lee has still having an effect every day.
Yeah. But so were, if I read about an Egyptian pharaoh, the implicit in that is like, millions of slaves building. But I would guilt-free dive into a King Tutankhamun biography.
Yeah, I guess it's just how removed you feel from a thing.
Yeah. I guess I don't see the daily baggage or wreckage from the Tutankhamun era.
Yeah.
But I do see, the disparity in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were talking about relationships, and you said if you're looking for it to be easy, odds are you didn't pick someone you respect. But I just want, just in case somebody's in a great marriage and it's super easy, I don't want them to feel like, oh no, and then they divorce them and it's all your fault.
I go too far with some of these statements for sure.
Well, that's why we fact check.
Yeah.
Because that's not a fact.
No, I'll walk that back.
Okay. I think that when we had John Gottman on, and he was talking about thin slicing and watching these couples and stuff, and I was nervous because I said, oh, this looks like maybe this is just a personality thing.
Oh, right. You were concerned that like congeniality was a requirement of.
Yeah. And then he said agreeability is the component which makes a marriage really work. And so he said, if you aren't an agreeable person, you probably should partner with an agreeable person. So I think your marriage could be easy if you just have that balance struck well. I don't know. Look, easy is probably not true. I don't think anyone's relationships are easy.
Knowing you, I don't think in any world you would be happy with someone highly agreeable.
I know. Well, that was my point. When I was sitting there, I was like, well, I'm doomed.
But Kristen's not highly agreeable at all. And I'm not highly agreeable at all. Kristen kind of is in her normal life, but not with me. You see that firsthand. There's no agreeability.
I don't think that's true.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I think she comes to the party. I don't think she's just saying like, sure.
She challenges
sure.
me on almost any statement I make.
Challenges you, but she's not. I feel like she never doesn't hear you.
Oh,
Like,
but I don't think that's a component of agreeability.
Well, I do, because it just feels like people are talking and exploring. It doesn't feel like there's a fight or a disagreement. I mean, sometimes, sure, but in general, I feel like she's
If I come home and I tell a story about getting in a fight with a parking attendant, right? Which just happened.
yes, I was there.
Yeah, she immediately goes. She's not on board with that. Like an agreeable person would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry you had that. You got revved up. You know, I hope you don't get a ticket tomorrow. Whatever." She's like that person. You know, she immediately starts walking me through. Like,
No,
you know,
she did not. I promise, because I was sort of expecting that. That was my reaction.
right.
It was like, hello, what
Yeah.
are you doing? This person has a job you do not want.
Correct.
And
they have an obligation to write tickets for people parked illegally.
Correct.
That's the job description.
So this was my thought, but I thought she was very much like,
I think that's just because she's also experienced the frustration of trying to drop them off at that school, which is nearly
probably.
impossible.
Oh, I know. I never want to do that. It's awful.
It's awful, yeah. So probably maybe in that situation. But in general, if I come home and tell a story where I got into it with somebody, her immediate general response is like, you shouldn't have got into it with anybody.
But this is not. None of this is fair to anyone, because normally when you get in a fight with somebody on the street, by the time you've told other people, you are including the fact that you were wrong.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You've already come to that conclusion by the time you're even sharing it. So no one has to say to you like, well, listen, I don't think that was super smart of you to do or nice. You're already saying, I feel really badly about this.
Yeah.
And so she is just saying like, yeah, I'm sorry. She is saying, I'm sorry that happened. I think she literally maybe said those exact words when you told that parking story.
Really?
Yes. But that's also because you are already there.
Anyways, I don't think she's very agreeable. And I don't think you're very agreeable. And I don't think I'm very agreeable. And I think you'll be
not.
very happy with some disagreeable man. That you'll just figure out how to disagree peacefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would just be bored.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You and I are the same. You actually want someone to agree with you, not appease you. Like the goal is hopefully they'll have a similar opinion as you, not just appease you or placate you.
Yeah, I don't like
that. Sounds terrible.
Yeah. Speaking of my future husband, he told a really nice story about Matt Damon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was proud of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that story.
Are you so excited I'm so excited for the new Matt Damon movie. Do you know, this is going to combine our two loves.
What?
They're telling the very famous story about Henry Ford II being in a public feud with Ferrari.
Oh, wow.
And building the GT40 just to beat Ferrari at Le Mans. And they're telling this historical story, and Matt Damon's in it, and Christian Bale.
Oh, Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bale. I couldn't be more pumped.
That's so exciting. I didn't know about this.
2 movies to look forward to. That and the Tarantino movies coming our way.
And Us, Jordan Peele's Us. I want to see it so bad.
Oh, yes. 3 movies.
Well, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
On John Kim.
Is it on John Kim?
I love you. Great job doing the tech and the opinions.
Thank you.